Mark is playing a deep offensive safety.
Yeah, and Hatcher's just going to sit down with the ball with 16 seconds left. He does. The clock can run out now. Now they can celebrate. Colorado has beaten Nebraska. The third-ranked team has gone down. Hatcher doing handstands and throwing the ball up. There it is. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. It's over. Colorado 20, Nebraska 10. Listen to it.
For Colorado fans, the impossible dream had come true. A victory over Nebraska for the first time since 1967. The touchdown towels were being waved. The Colorado players, overcome with emotion, joined in bringing down the goalpost. And the city of Boulder would celebrate until late Monday afternoon. Coach Bill McCartney's stunning upset of the number 3 ranked Cornhuskers.
Men, this is as sweet as it gets.
The final score, Colorado 20, Nebraska 10. Last week, it was number 1 Nebraska against number 2 Oklahoma in Lincoln. Nebraska confidently moving toward a victory and a Big 8 championship. Business as usual early as Keith Jones breaks free to put Nebraska on top and a step closer to a national championship. But as Oklahoma seized control of the game, the long faces told the Huskers' sad story. The dreams of a national title dashed. The disillusionment of 4 straight defeats to Oklahoma. The seniors' empty feeling of never having played for a Big 8 champion. And the thoughts of what might have been. A year's worth of training, preparation, and build-up for that one moment. The opportunity had come and gone. And for Nebraska, the cold realization that there would be no championship. Presents CFA College Football, the majestic snow-capped Rocky Mountains in the background, providing a magnificent backdrop. As from Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado, it's the number 5 Nebraska Cornhuskers against the Colorado Buffaloes. Hi, everybody. This is Bob Rassman. My partner is Lee Corso. Coach, big game today.
Colorado's bowl game. They've got their terrible towels out and they're ready to go. Nebraska's got to win this ball game to keep that high national ranking.
As is the case in key games, the quarterbacks are often the focal point. No different today.
Nebraska's quarterback, Taylor, number 9, is an outstanding runner, but he feels he likes to throw the ball more effectively today because Colorado can stop the run. Mark Hatcher, the quarterback, is an outstanding quarterback. He beat Nebraska here last week. He knows how to, last year, he knows how to do it.
Well, Lee, what will it take for Nebraska to win today?
All right, to keep Nebraska from the eyebrows up. How they handle that mind game of that loss to Oklahoma, that was a devastating loss. They don't know how they're going to handle it, neither does Coach Osborne.
And for the Colorado Buffaloes, what will it take to make it 2 upset wins in a row?
Right, the key for Colorado is perfection offensively and a couple of trick plays, pressure the quarterback, and psychologically, they're coming out in all black uniforms. They warmed up in gold pants. They're coming out in all black for power. It's going to be a psychological advantage, they hope.
The 2 teams are ready. The Nebraska Cornhuskers against the Colorado Buffaloes here at Folsom Field. And really, Lee, this is Colorado's bowl game.
Absolutely, because they feel like they've been neglected by everybody. It's the best football team in the country not going to a bowl game. That's why they build it up this way.
Meanwhile, for Nebraska, they're going to a bowl game once again.
And they've got to play Florida State. Florida State beat Florida today, so that means Florida State's got a chance for the national championship right there at Fiesta Bowl.
That, of course, will be on January the 1st, and they're dubbing this one here the Folsom Bowl.
The Folsom Bowl with the terrible towels, the yellow towels. The first 20,000 people that came into this place, they gave them one of these towels, and I got one yesterday.
This game today will feature 2 of the finer rushing offenses in the country, Nebraska and Colorado.
The top 3 rushing football teams in this country, 2 of them are right here. Nebraska and Colorado. The other one is the Air Force Academy, and what happens is, you guessed it, 3 of the top 4 teams in the country rushing the football are all wishbone teams. You can see it right there.
Here come the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. Nebraska with 9 victories and 1 defeat, and decked out from head to toe in the black uniforms, the Buffaloes of Colorado. The Buffalo is ready. He'll lead the charge on a beautiful day here in Boulder, Colorado. These fans waited a long time for a victory over Nebraska. They got it last year, and they'd like nothing more than to make it 2 in a row over the Cornhuskers. Here comes Ralphie 3. ESPN's presentation of CFA college football is being brought to you by Michelob. So exceptionally smooth, the night belongs to Michelob. By UPS. Whether it's for overnight letters or packages, UPS runs the tightest ship in the shipping business. By Howard Johnson Hotels and Lodges. And by GTE. No GTE. It's a big 8th roll in Colorado. The Buffaloes against Nebraska. The kickoff is coming up next.
Fundamentals, fellas. Straight, simple fundamentals. The lesson we learn weekends.
But for Hansley, the biggest factor will be the sun in the first half.
For Nebraska, the problem will be catching punts and kickoffs. It's right in the sun. For Colorado, will be catching the forward passes. The sun is definitely a factor for the first half.
The deep men, Richard Bell and Dana Brinson for Nebraska. Kicking off for Colorado, Ken Culbertson. Colorado won the toss. They deferred their decision to the second half. Nebraska to receive, and our game is underway from Boulder, Colorado. A high bounce over the head of Brinson, a touchback, and Nebraska will bring it out to the 20-yard line. Here's the Nebraska offense. At quarterback, Steve Taylor, Fresno, California. The running backs are Micah Heibel, Keith Jones, and Dana Brinson. The receivers, Rod Smith and Tom Banderas. The tackles, Bob Sledge and Kevin Leitner. And the interior line of Andy Keeler, Jake Young, and John McCormick. So the Cornhuskers come up first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And Steve Taylor is ready at quarterback with the I-backs behind him. A flag and a bobbled snap will straighten things out as we take a look at the Colorado defensive line of Arthur Walker, Kyle Rappold, and Kurt Koch. The outside linebackers are Alfred Williams and Canavis McGee. The inside backers, Michael Jones and Eric McCarty. Cornerbacks, David Tate and John Narron. And the safeties, Mickey Pruitt and Rodney Rogers. The penalty was against Colorado. Kyle Rappold's jumping. And that makes it first down and 5 for Nebraska out of the 25-yard line. Richard Bell coming in motion. It is Jones. And he's got a Nebraska first down up to the 32. Rodney Rogers, the free safety, came over to make the tackle.
First play of the game, right at him. Test their manhood. Let's try how tough they are. Jones over the right tackle, Leitner, and gets a good play. Number 4, Jones. Rogers comes up to make the tackle. One of the things you like to do in the first part of the game as an offensive coach is get your line to come out and hit people. That's why they don't come out throwing and run the ball right away.
First down and 10 for the Cornhuskers. At the Nebraska 32. Jones breaks a tackle and crawls to the 35. The senior from Omaha.
McCartney, number 32, McCartney, comes from the inside. If you see right there, Bill McCartney, he's probably one of the finest young football coaches in the country. One of the things he likes the most about this Colorado program is he's built it slowly, and he's built it with the image of Michigan. He was a defensive coordinator for Bo Schembechler for 8 years and has used Michigan as his model to build the Colorado program.
Second down and 6 from the 35. The fake to the fullback. Taylor's going to keep it. 45 and trying to make the cut and slip at the 46-yard line. An 11-yard pickup for the Nebraska quarterback.
Taylor comes out in a nice option play right away. You'll notice he fakes the ball inside to freeze everybody. Fakes the ball to number 48, Heibel in there. Now he comes down. He's option to the outside man. Number 19 takes the outside pitch, Pruitt does, and leaves Taylor all by himself. it was snowing here yesterday. They took the snow off yesterday. It's dried in some spots, but it's still wet, obviously, in others.
First down and 10, Cornhuskers from their own 46-yard line. Opening drive of the game. And it is going to be the fullback, Micah Heibel. And he'll carry it for just a couple of yards. Heibel, the senior from Lincoln, Nebraska. Lee, we talked at the top of the show about how important it was for Nebraska to regain the emotional stability and get their heads back to thinking about winning football. Can you put that on this first drive? Is it that important?
One of the things they've gone to is immediately what they do the best, running the football. They're not going to put the ball in the air unless it's absolutely necessary, because they think they can run the football against anybody, and they want to prove it right now.
Gregory is a wideout to the right. Taylor fouled up, gets over the 50 into Colorado territory, but he is wrapped up there. And making the tackle was Kurt Koch, the senior from Littleton, Colorado.
It looks like Colorado's strategy on stopping the option is to make Taylor run the ball to the inside. Now, you watch the inside linebackers, number 59, Jones, number 32, McCartney. They make everybody cut inside so they can take a hit at Taylor. One of the best ways to hit Taylor is to make him run the ball. And what they did there, they got him to run the ball, and they got him tangled up in a bunch of people, and he hurt his left ankle.
He is shaken up, Lee, and coming out of the game. And we'll see Clete Blakeman come in.
We'll try to see what happens on this. Remember, they're trying to make Taylor run the football. The option, everything is outside. Notice all the black jerseys to your right, to the outside, and number 96, McGee, gets a good shot. I think he twisted his ankle.
Senior Clete Blakeman in the game for Nebraska quarterback for the injured Steve Taylor on third down throwing, and it's going to be an interception. We had to wait and see. It was very close to the ground, but the pickoff is complete by Mickey Pruitt, the strong safety man, number 19.
An interesting call. You bring in a new quarterback, number 12, Bateman, and you immediately go to a pass. What happens, he throws the ball behind the intended receiver, and number 19, Pruitt, makes a good catch. Watch. The intended receiver almost had it, and 19 almost caught the ball. I said almost. But from the officials' standpoint, he did catch it. It's first down, Colorado.
Well, that's why we had to hold up to see what the official call was going to be. It looked like a trap on our replay, but it's Colorado ball going the other way. First and 10 at the 45-yard line. Mark Hatcher is the quarterback for Colorado out of the wishbone. And the give is to the fullback, Eric Kissick, and he gets just a couple of yards up to the 49-yard line.
This could be a significant play later on. Now watch number 19 catch the ball or trap it. Now, from the second look, it looks like from our side and our vantage that he trapped it. But the official might have been blocked out by the other player and called it an interception.
Mickey Pruitt making his 5th interception of the season. Colorado comes up second down and 5 from their own 49-yard line. Hatcher pitching, and it is going to be Flanagan. Flanagan trying to get to the outside into Nebraska territory at the 49-yard line. Let's take a look at the Colorado starters. At quarterback, it is Mark Hatcher. The wishbone backfield of J.J. Flanagan, Eric Kissick, and Aaron Biemi. The receivers, Drew Ferrando and George Hemingway. The tackles, Pat Ryan and Darren Muhlenberg. And the interior line of Joe Garden, Eric Norgard, and Chris Symington. There was a penalty flag dropped on that last play. We'll see about giving us the indication. The penalty will go against the Buffaloes. See, we talked also about Colorado needing an emotional spark, and well, you think that interception is going to get him on the beam.
Well, that was important because what it did is it gave him the football early. It gave him a chance to establish something. This penalty was on the sideline. It looked like with Coach McCartney's arguing right there that one of the players said something to the officials in there, and that's where the penalty came from. It was not, Bob, in the field of play by any of the players playing.
Taylor, we understand, will be back. A tendon injury in his leg, and he will return for the Cornhuskers. Right now, Colorado is backed up third down. And they've got the football back at the 35-yard line. there for the first time. Tipped, incomplete. The intended receiver, number 2, Lance Carl, but that ball was deflected. Broderick Thomas for Nebraska. That will force a punt, and we get to see Lee, one of the nation's finest, in Barry Helton.
Helton is one of the finest punters, not only in distance, but in hang time, which the pros take as the #1 prerequisite. Also, we'll get to see in the first part of the ball game if their sun is any factor, because that ball's going to be coming right out of the sun to the punt receiver.
Dana Brinson back deep for Nebraska. Here's the punt by Helton, and it's a boomer. Brinson at the 19, 25, and he's brought down at the 26-yard line. So Colorado taking over, can't do anything with it.
How do other Japanese imports see the 1988 Dodge?
Through on this Saturday afternoon. Glad to have you with us as you start in on your 8th turkey sandwich. There is Taylor on the bench for Nebraska. We got word originally that he would return, but they're working on that ankle.
Well, that just indicates he will return. When they're working on an ankle like that, percentages are you come back with you. As a coach, the most concern you have is when they're working on a player's knee. Percentages are they don't come back after a knee injury, but he'll be back with that ankle injury.
We have 10 minutes and 57 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Colorado and Nebraska, no score. And into the ball game at quarterback for Nebraska, Clete Blakeman, the senior from Norfolk, Nebraska. Very efficient passer. He has hit on 64% of his throws, and there you see his rushing statistics.
We did a game Nebraska-South Carolina earlier this year when Taylor got hurt. He came back and led Nebraska on 17 fourth-quarter points to beat a good University of South Carolina football team.
The officials are getting together. Here's a look at the Nebraska-Colorado series. Early in this series, it was pretty even. Then Nebraska started rolling. They won 18 in a row before the defeat here, 20-10, that they're still talking about here in Boulder.
They will talk about it because Bill McCartney has used the Nebraska team as a benchmark of how good his football team will be. He beat Nebraska. That meant they had arrived.
Now Tom Osborne.
I tell you what they might be talking about. They might be talking about the headsets. The rule in NCAA football is if your headsets go out, the other team can't use their headsets. You know what I mean? So that you can't have a disadvantage there. And that's what Nebraska's having. And Taylor's coming back into the ball game with that right ankle.
And there is the return of Taylor. So that ankle tape and ready for action. Nebraska starting a drive. They have it first down at 10 from their own 27-yard line. Last week in the Oklahoma game, Taylor suffered 3 interceptions. Jones dives over the 30 and up to the 31-yard line. The fastest runner in Nebraska history. That's Jones.
That's Nebraska's favorite play. Watch number 61, McCormick, the All-American guard, come around. 48 high bull. They all knock their men down, and Jones smiles and goes fast, driving for extra yardage. That play is the basis behind the Nebraska offense, the toss sweep.
A 5-yard pickup for Keith Jones makes it 2nd and 5. Brinson is the wing left. Jones looks for a hole and finds a small one and gets out to the 36. Keith Jones with the carry, David Tate with the tackle.
The right side of the offensive line, 57 Leitner, 61 McCormick are doing a good job of driving in their high ball. Gets a good block. What Nebraska is doing right now is coming out and testing Colorado's manhood. Let's see how tough you are. Let's play man-on-man, roll up your sleeves and see who's better. That's Nebraska's football, the essence of Tom Osborne's team right there.
The officiating crew, led by referee J.C. Lauterbach, stretching out the chains. That's how short it is for a Nebraska first down. 3rd and inches. No score, 10-16 to play. The opening period from Boulder, Colorado. The final game of the Big 8 season, and should Colorado stage another upset, we would have a 3-way tie for 2nd in the final Big 8 standings, involving Tom Osborne's Nebraska Cornhuskers, Colorado, and Oklahoma State, and that would be a first in the history of the Big 8. This conference gets a lot of publicity The top two teams lead, Nebraska and Oklahoma. But as we mentioned to Commissioner Carl James, he got a couple other ball clubs in this league to play with anybody.
They can play football in this league. They love football in this part of the country.
So Nebraska, 3rd and inches. 2 tight ends. Jones has it and then shot. Still going over the 40 to the 43-yard line. And Nebraska has a 1st and 10. Keith Jones making a move on the record book here.
His wrap hold in the middle, the all Big 8 nose tackle, but he gets blocked in by number 1. Number 62 Sledge comes down and blocks him in. Watch number 48 Highbull get his block, and Jones goes for the 1st down. When in doubt, go to your best play. That's exactly what they did. The toss sweep.
Keith Jones is now 5th on the all-time Nebraska rushing list. He has passed Jeff Kenny today with 21 yards. Taylor, 50, loses the football, and Colorado is recovered. Number 83, Arthur Walker, the sophomore from Houston, Texas, with a fumble recovery. And Colorado gets another break.
The option play, coming down the line. Taylor makes a good fake. He comes down. Remember, Colorado's theory is to allow Taylor to run it and then hit him. And they do hit him. Number 23, Tate, comes out, strips the ball, and it's the 2nd turnover on a good Nebraska team already. Remember, turnovers are not that important if you don't do anything with them. The last time, Colorado did absolutely nothing.
A pass interception. Now the Arthur Walker fumble recovery. No score 1st quarter for Boulder. 9:42 to play. Hatcher sends a man in motion. Option right. And it's going to be the enemy. Over the 35 and down to the Nebraska 32-yard line. An 18-yard run for the freshman from West Covina, California.
What a terrific call from upstairs. That's a different kind of option. Watch it. It's a counter option. They fake the ball to the left to Kissick, and then they come back on a counter option to Eric the enemy. And he makes a good run. This guy's got great speed. He's from West Covina, California, was an All-American high school football player, and they think the more they can get the ball in his hands, the better they got a chance to win.
Lee, he's a true freshman.
Yes, sir.
And has gone over 500 yards now rushing for the season after that 18-yard gallop. 1st down and 10 for the Colorado Buffaloes. Looking to dent the scoreboard here against Nebraska. It's the enemy again. Over the 30, carries a couple of white shirts with him down to the 28. The Nebraska defense shapes up this way. The defensive line is Neil Smith, Lawrence Pete, and Tim Rother. The defensive ends, Broderick Thomas and Jeff Jamrod. The linebackers, Leroy Etienne and Steve Forge. In the secondary, at corner, Lorenzo Hicks and Charles Fryer. And the safeties, Brian Washington and Mark Blaza. That's the Nebraska defense. Colorado taking over on a fumble recovery. Now they're moving it 2nd down and 6 yards to go from the Nebraska 28-yard line. The senior, Mark Hatcher, at quarterback for Colorado, playing his final home game. Faking, keeping. And Hatcher's got a good gain inside the 20 and down to the 19-yard line. Mark Hatcher, who's back in as the starting quarterback for Colorado.
Great picture. Watch the triple option. Fakes the ball to Kissick, number 33, comes out and cuts it in. Nebraska is using the same theory against Colorado, forcing the quarterback to run. The difference that time is Hatcher hit the hole quicker, Taylor, and made a good run.
Mark Hatcher, the senior from Pasadena, California, has rushed for over 1,000 yards in his Colorado career. First and 10 Buffaloes. The give to the fullback, Eric Kissick, and he's wrapped up as he gets back to the line of scrimmage. Well, Nebraska was ready that time. Strong side linebacker Leroy Etienne was there to make the first hit.
18, number 47, is from Louisiana. Watch the right-hand side of your picture. He steps up. His responsibility is the fullback. The reason he makes that such a great play is he squares up, which means he puts his face on the fullback's face and stops him right there. He didn't arm tackle him all. Good play by Etienne.
2nd down and 10 for Colorado. A fumble started this Colorado drive. Now the officials are stepping in. A penalty flag has been dropped. Colorado has had terrific field position to start these two drives. The interception set up the first drive at the Colorado 46, and this one starting at midfield. Procedure penalty against Colorado, backs it up 5.
What happened on that time, the left offensive guard, Symington, came up and put his hand down, and then he moved his hand, and you can't do that. In college football, once the lineman puts his hand down, he cannot move it.
There's Bill McCartney pacing on the Colorado sidelines. Since he switched the offense to the wishbone, Colorado's taken off. That change came in 1985. Second and 15. And giving to Kissick. There's a couple of yards out to the 21-yard line. That's going to set up a third down play. Broderick Thomas, all Big 8 as a sophomore, made the tackle for Nebraska. 6:50 left to play. Clock running here in the second quarter. No score. Colorado, Nebraska. It's going to be 3rd and 13. What's the playbook look like, Coach?
Well, first of all, you do not run a trick play. Why not a trick play here? Because 3rd and 13, the defense watches it for a trick play. So basically, usually in this situation, you run some kind of an option or try to get some flood pass.
Fullback in motion. Passes, pitching. Flanagan. He's bumped out of bounds. Got back to the 22, and Leroy Etienne is there again.
Etienne 47 and 89 Thomas make a great play. They run an option, which is a good call because it's a safe play. They pitch the ball to number 29, Flanagan, but watch the pursuit. 47, Etienne, and number 89, Thomas. Two of the finer athletes on the Nebraska football team make a good play of that.
Colorado is going to try a field goal on 4th down. Dave DeLine, a senior from Denver, is in. He's 3 for 3 this season. This is a 39-yard attempt, and it is blocked. Nebraska picks it up and is down there at the 23. Neil Smith, the outstanding tackle, came through and blocked that 39-yard field goal attempt by Dave DeLine.
Picture to watch number 99, Neil Smith, 6'5", 260, come up, put his right hand up there, right there, and deflects the ball. Now, the important thing there, once the ball is deflected, anybody can catch that ball and run it. And the Nebraska guy alertly takes and starts to run it, but Colorado stops it. Colorado has had all the breaks. They came out psychologically in their black uniforms. They got the breaks, and they've done nothing with them. They better do something quick, or Nebraska's going to warm up.
Quarterback, and he's going to hand it off just a couple of yards for the fullback. And the fullback in there is Brian Carpenter, spelling Micah Heibel, rather. 6 minutes to go in the period and no score. Second down and 9 yards to go for the Cornhuskers. Carpenter, a sophomore. He's in there at the fullback spot. The I-back is Jones. Richard Bell is the man in the slot. Jones gets a block. Big hole. Turns on the speed. Over the 35 and up to the 37-yard line. Michael Jones, the inside linebacker, got some help from Tate that time.
What a great misdirection play. Watch him. He'll start to his left, Jones does, number 6. But watch number 62, Sledge, make a great block right there, and then Jones explodes through the ball. That's one of the best football plays in football, when you start one direction and come back, especially if you've got a guy like Sledge who can pull and trap, number 62.
And no substitute for speed. Well, that young man has it in abundance. Jones, 6 carries and 38 yards, a first down and 10. And Jones going to try it again. He's got a blocker in front of him. Over the 45 and down to the 47-yard line. Great block by the big guy, 62, Bob Sledge. The rest of the score is Houston now in the 4th quarter, leading Rice 42-21. Elsewhere, Arkansas over New Mexico 29-17.
We have Arkansas at Hawaii next week.
And we do. Arizona State in that big battle, leading by a touchdown in the second quarter over the Wildcats. 5:05 to play here in the opening quarter. First down and 10, Nebraska. No score from Boulder. And the handoff. It is Knox with the carry, and the tackle made by Michael Jones.
sprint draw play. 95 Koch is one of the finest football players that Colorado has. They double-teamed him this time, and they drive him right straight back. Number 57, Leitner, does a great job with his legs. Leitner ought to. He squats 756 pounds, more than any offensive lineman ever has in the history of Nebraska.
Ryan Carpenter and Tyrese Knox behind Taylor. Taylor's going to spin, and he has the football as he gets to the 49. That time, the defensive tackle, Kurt Koch, was there. Tom Reinhardt over to help him out.
The quarterback doesn't have an option on this. As he reverse pivots, Colorado's defensive plan is to make him run the football. 97, Reinhardt forces him to run the ball so they can hit him. Now a key play. 3rd down and 9. Nebraska has been running a misdirection play a lot in this situation. Also, a rollout pass by Taylor.
Lakeman on 3rd down at a pass interception, and we get number 95 jumping across the line for the Colorado Buffaloes, and that's Kurt Koch, and penalty flag she'll fly. Offsides against Colorado. Instead of 3rd and 8, now it's going to be 3rd and 3.
What a terrific play by Taylor that time. He changed the snap count. He went to a long, non-rhythmic call, and by going hut, hut, he made Koch jump offside because he's coming to rush the passer.
So Nebraska, 3rd and 3. No score here in the opening period. From the Colorado 45. Bell in motion. Taylor keeping. They've got him by the shirt. Taylor gets a first down as he gets to the 41-yard line. Koch was there. Also getting some help on that pile for Colorado was Kyle Rappold, the middle guard. It looked like Kyle had him by the back of the shirt, but it is a Nebraska first down.
Nice option play. They take the ball to the fullback, eyeball right there. Watch, he gets the ball, takes it to Carpenter 29, and he cuts it in. The reason why Taylor is running it every time is that Colorado has assigned somebody to the pitch, and they're going to make Taylor run the football.
Play that time. Michael Jones was there, number 59, the sophomore from San Diego. He's had a whale of a season for Coach Bill McCartney. Number 2 tackler on the team.
Watch number 59 at right of your picture. He fills a hole, but he's strong enough to reach out and grab Jones and pull him down with one hand. Boy, I tell you what, he's averaged over 11 tackles per game, and you can see why right there on that ISO.
Brinson is the wing. Jones gets the carry and a big hole over the 35 and down to the 31-yard line. Keith Jones seems to me like he's got 2 kinds of speed. He's got that quick step to hit the hole at the line of scrimmage, and then when he gets in the open field, he can really turn it on.
As you know, he's the fastest player ever to play in Nebraska. Here he gets a tremendous block on the left side by number 65, Keeler, the left guard, and he drives himself in there. What I like about him the most is his body lean, which means that he's going east and west towards the goal line all the time, and he drives himself north and south.
They stretch the chains, and Nebraska about a foot short.
Nebraska line is just coming off the ball. They look like they are really on a mission here. They got 59 being blocked in there. Look at that hole in there as he smashes. Sledge number 62 makes the play. But did you notice that Jones went there like a blur? He was gone.
It's going to be 3rd down. Jones with a big first quarter. Inches to go for Nebraska. No score in the opening quarter. Taylor will keep it and dives over the 30 to pick up the Nebraska first down. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Now, despite the fact, Lee, that there's no score in the game, you get the feeling that Nebraska has weathered the storm.
The offensive line from Nebraska has their eyebrows up, ready to go. They're playing terrific. They come off the ball and drive everybody back. Just drive them off the ball. Rappold is driven back, and it's a first down for Nebraska. They've run a couple of misdirection plays for big yardage. We'll see if they come back to that soon.
This is the 10th play of this Nebraska drive. First down and 10 from the 29. Taylor, qualified throwing it, and gets it down to the 25. Steve Taylor is in on 48% of his passes with 13 touchdowns, but kept it on the ground. Of course, the thing you have to think about, too, Lee, when your quarterback runs a lot, he's going to take a beating.
He's going to get hurt. And that's the object of the Colorado defense. Not that they want to do it illegally, but they want Taylor to run the ball so they can hit him all the time. Why rush the passer and sack him when you can let him run it and hit him?
Second down for Nebraska and 5 to go from the Colorado 25. Now a penalty flag has been thrown before the snap. And we may have had some movement, somebody picking up a hand or moving into the neutral zone. Check and see what the call is here from J.C. Louderback. This time against Nebraska.
You know what that call was? I haven't seen it this year. But the center moved the ball forward as he came up over the ball. You know, and they like to turn the ball over to get the laces. The center turns the ball. See him? That's a little bit of movement right there. That is illegal procedure and a 5-yard penalty. The reason they do that is because they like to get the laces in their hands so they can get the quarterback with the laces ready to throw.
You've got to turn that ball before you get set.
That's right.
Second down at 10. Taylor, quick step, has to run, 25 to the 24. Michael Jones again in on the tackle. Well, we've called number 59 quite often here in the first quarter for Colorado.
6'2", 225-pound sophomore. He's a sociology major. The thing I like about him, he's around the ball. If he doesn't make the tackle, he's always in the picture, which means he's got good vision as a linebacker.
25 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter. It is third down and 5. Nebraska will get this play off before the end of the period. Brinson in motion. Taylor. Jones has it, and Jones is going to be shy of the first down. At the 22, it's going to be 4th down and about 2 yards to go for Nebraska. And that's the end of the first quarter of play. No score in Boulder. Nebraska and Colorado. Figurating Rocky Mountain. Coach, Nebraska tried to pass for first down.
They tried to throw a little flare pass to Jones, number 6. Watch him come out of the backfield. A linebacker support real quick, and it sets up a big play. 4th down and 2 on the 22 going in for Nebraska.
ESPN CFA football. We begin the second period of play. And Nebraska with this 4th down and 10. They've got to get it to the 20. Jones bottled up, gets away. Can Colorado pin him? No. Jones to the 10 and down to the 9-yard line. A tremendous play by Keith Jones. Shut off on the right, reversed his field, and picked up the first down.
Believe it, all the hours of practice, and watch the offensive right side of the line gets blasted. The Colorado team does a great job. Jones gets hemmed up. He takes off around his left, and thank goodness number 10, Aaron, was in position to catch him, or else he would have gone all the way. Hours of practice, hours of preparation, and the guy runs over everybody, makes the first down and 4th down.
First and goal now for Nebraska at the 9. Jones has 70 rushing yards. And the handoff goes to Carpenter. And he is finally stacked up. They'll give him his progress inside the 6. Ryan Carpenter, the sophomore, with his second carry. Mickey Pruitt, the strong safety man, credited with the tackle.
Colorado has been tough, but when the opponent gets near the goal line, for some reason, they get in there. One of the reasons is they take some calculated risks by blitzing, and teams are able to score on it.
And Nebraska, you know they're in the high percentile with this situation. 2nd and goal from the 6. Taylor will keep it. And he's in for the touchdown. Steve Taylor on a 6-yard run, and Nebraska has taken the lead over Colorado.
Here's that option play. A little fake to the fullback. Carpenter freezes everybody to the inside. He comes down, Taylor does, and options off the 19 Pruitt and gets into the end zone for a touchdown. One of the reasons why most college teams score that have the option is that That's the most difficult play right there, ladies and gentlemen, in football, to stop near the goal line. The teams that run the option score more than any other team in football.
Left-footed sophomore Chris Drennan into the game for Nebraska. His kick is good. So Nebraska's on the board. 13:54 to play here in the second quarter. There was a penalty flag dropped on the kick attempt. They're talking to the Nebraska people. John McCormick roughing the kicker is the penalty. And they'll take another look at it here.
They won't take this penalty. They don't like to take points off the scoreboard. Remember now, you cannot touch that guy at all. They hit number 16, granted right there, and that's a penalty. Now what they'll do is they'll take this on a kickoff, and they'll be kicking the ball off from about the 50-yard line, and they might, some teams have done an outside kick or a push kick into the corner and try to get it.
The kick stands, and Nebraska leads. 13:54 to go, second quarter, and 7-0 Nebraska. CFA College Football being brought to you by Jeep. The feeling you can get only in a Jeep. And by Yashica. They put a new focus on photography with the new 230 AF autofocus. A 6-yard touchdown run by Nebraska's Steve Taylor. Tom Osborne talking to the quarterback, Steve Taylor, number 9, and Clete Blakeman, number 12 there on the Nebraska sideline. 7-0. Huskers on top. Chris Drummond with the kickoff, and he really moved this one through the uprights and out of the end zone. There's a timeout on the field with Nebraska leading Colorado. We'll be right back. Nothing. Nebraska leading Colorado as we start this Colorado drive. First and 10 from the 20. Mark Hatcher is the senior quarterback for the Buffaloes. 7-0 Nebraska leading, and the handoff goes to Eric Kissick, the fullback. And they get a couple of yards out to the 22. Well, the magnificent front range here. NFL Sunday on ESPN tomorrow. Game day kicks it off at 11:30. Pete Axthelm, Chris Berman, Tom Jackson, then NFL Primetime with a daily recap of all the games. Then our primetime feature, the Cleveland Browns against the San Francisco 49ers at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night on ESPN. Well, the ski season is in. Don't look like you bring your skis out here on this trip.
I live in Orlando. I've got water skis.
That's what I meant. It's second down and 8. And handoff goes to Eric Bieniemy. He is wrapped up. Got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. We'll see where they mark it. There was the Nebraska drive, and a fine drive it was. The offensive line did a beautiful job. Taylor with a 6-yard touchdown run.
It was vintage Nebraska. Good offensive line play, hard running by the tailback Jones, and a great option play by Taylor.
Colorado will have it 3rd down and 7. They gave the enemy a pickup of a yard. Now, this is a baby backfield. The enemy, a true freshman, is in there. Now they split out the wishbone. Quarterback Mark Hatcher doesn't like what he sees and calls a timeout. We've also got a penalty flag thrown.
The reason a penalty flag is he did not call the timeout before the clock hit the 30 seconds.
Yeah, the 25-second
25 seconds
expiring, hitting 0, and there's a look at some of the scores. Appalachia moving up in the 1AA playoff. Georgia Southern in overtime, defeating Maine. Weber State 14 up on Idaho at the half. And Marshall routing James Madison. The penalty against Colorado moves it back, and at least they did not burn a timeout.
Well, what happens when you have a timeout like that, you try to get it before the clock runs out, and you lose 5 yards. But what happens worse than that, it's 3rd down and 14, and wishbone teams don't do well with 3rd down and 12.
Colorado, 6 penalties. Hatcher complete, and the grab is made by Lance Powell. And he's got the 1st down. Out to the 35. One advantage that this Colorado wishbone has, Lee, they got a great receiver in Lance Carr.
And boy, I tell you what, that time they split out everybody. He dropped number 89, Thomas, out into a great defensive position. But Thomas is not a great pass defender. He's a better pass rusher. But by the formation, they put him in a position where he wasn't supposed to be, in a great pass by Hatcher to Carl. First down, Colorado. That's what they need. They need a couple big plays to get back into this ballgame.
Lance Carl has now caught a pass in 8 consecutive games. Hatcher in front of him, and he gets to the 41-yard line. The senior from Pasadena. Back into Carl. There's a penalty flag, a little pushing and shoving down there. And we may have a late hit here. Steve Standard into the game for Nebraska with the last tackle. Let's see what the penalty is here. The personal foul against Nebraska. That'll be an automatic 1st and 10 for Colorado. And the ball down to the 44.
Keep your eye on number 33, Kissick. As he goes through, he gets an excellent block into the area right there as Hatcher drives himself forward. The secret to the wishbone is that point where the quarterback takes it and fakes it or runs it, giving the ball to the fullback and running it himself. And so far, Hatcher and Kissick are doing it very well.
Colorado has moved out from its own 20. Now into Nebraska territory at the 44-yard line. Hatcher sends a man in motion. Kissick the carry, and he gets to the 42-yard line. Just a couple of yards for the sophomore from Overland Park, Kansas. He replaced Michael Simmons at that fullback spot after Simmons went down with an injury in the Kansas game. John Marco with the tackle for the Huskers. Speaking of injuries, that's what got Mark Hatcher back into the lineup at quarterback for Colorado. Salinesi separated his shoulder, and he's back in.
The team's in a Big 8. They thrive on running the football, but they also love to stop the other team's running game.
2nd down and 8.
Health. Where 3.5 million active women learn how to stay
down to the 36-yard line of Nebraska. Coming over to make the hit was Mark Blazek, the safety man. But a good game for the quarterback, Hatcher.
And a well-run triple option. Hatcher, the quarterback, will fake the ball to the fullback, down the line of scrimmage in beautiful position. He gets good blocking by the line and everybody else, but number 23, Lasik, comes up, makes the play. Now watch. Good mesh point. He comes down, he fakes. Keep your eye on number 33. Kissick, boom. He cuts down the defensive number 37. And now, in the bottom of your picture, you'll see Hatcher running, but number 23, Lasik, comes up from the secondary and makes a good play. Big play, 3rd and 2 for Colorado.
Hatcher faking to Kissick. He'll keep it. He dives, and it looks from here like he's got the first down at the 32-yard line. Hatcher calling his own number. And it's 1st down and 10 for the Buffaloes.
On this replay, you're going to see an interesting part. Watch number 29, right there at the bottom of your picture. Flanagan blocked the linebacker 47, Etienne. That's a design play. The quarterback will fake the ball to the fullback and then drive in right behind that block for a 1st down. A well-conceived play on short yardage to the wishbone.
Lee, Colorado continues to move into Nebraska territory. They got it down to the 22 earlier in this game. They've got to start getting some points. It's still a very close game, 7-0, but psychologically, they need to get some points on the board. Kissick fumbles the ball. It's loose. And Nebraska, let's see, yes, Nebraska has recovered. Neil Smith, who earlier blocked the field goal attempt, claims the loose ball at the Colorado 29. I couldn't tell, Lee, whether Kissick just had it knocked away or he just coughed it up.
33 gets tackled from the inside. The ball is going loose, and number 99 falls on it for Nebraska. Now remember, Colorado has a problem. When they start turning the ball over, they usually lose.
In the Rocky Mountains, Boulder, Colorado. 7-0 Nebraska leading the Buffaloes here. 9:22 to play in the 2nd quarter. For those of you who were watching that Notre Dame-Miami game, welcome to our broadcast from Colorado. The first Colorado turnover in 11 quarters has given Nebraska the football 1st and 10 at the Husker 29. Davis hands it off to the fullback, Brian Carpenter, and nowhere to go. Coming through again was number 59, Michael Jones, for Colorado.
Jones made a picture-perfect play by sitting up what they call squat right in front of the guy and eyeball to eyeball. Watch him square up right there. Boom. Now that's a picture-perfect tackle. They'll take that picture right there, and they'll take it out, and they'll put it as a coaching film and use it on clinics. That is as good a tackle you're going to get from a linebacker on the fullback.
Second down and 9. Taylor now putting Tyrese Knox in the eye position, and Knox gets the carry, and he gets it onto the 42-yard line, and Nebraska's got a first down.
It's a good thing he moved Knox over that time because he would have pitched the ball to nobody. He moves Knox over, and he tosses the ball to him in the toss sweep. Now, watch number 57, Leitner, who's a good offensive tackle, coming back from the backside and keeps after his man as Knox drives himself forward. The backside is very important. That's the side away from the ball because that's the side that usually catches the man from the blind side.
Kevin Leitner, a 6'2", 285-pound senior. With that last block for Nebraska. Here's the pitch, and it goes to Knox. Trying to get outside, hit and drop. Back of the 39. Great lateral pursuit that time for Colorado.
Terrific play by number 94, Alfred Williams, a true freshman. The left-hand part of your picture, keep your eye on number 94. He's 6'6", 230, a true freshman from Houston, Texas. He and number 19, Pruitt, who's a 3-time All-Big 8 player, make an outstanding defensive play to make it second down and 12 for Nebraska.
Big number 94, 7:40 left to play here. It's going to be second down and 12. Nebraska leading 7-0. Brinson, the man in motion. Taylor guns it. Incomplete, nearly intercepted. Number 32, Eric McCarty, laying hit it right between the 3 and the 2, and there's a penalty flag down. McCarty almost picked off that pass. It would have been his second interception of the year, and he had some daylight to run. Now they're picking up the flag.
No flag. Now what happened on that play, when Taylor went to throw the ball, he did not see number 32 from the bottom of your picture. See him? He didn't see him, and he threw the ball so hard that Eric McCarty had no idea that he was going to be able to catch that ball. He's a Rhodes Scholarship candidate, but that doesn't help him when the ball is going 95 miles an hour and he hits you right in the mouth.
Third down and 12. See if Colorado can get an emotional boost here by holding Nebraska. Trying to shut down one of the most vaunted running games in college football. And the handoff goes to Knox. He's got running room and then some, and into Colorado territory. Tyrese Knox, the junior from Dale City, California. A 22-yard breakout.
What a blocking on the left side. Number 65, Keeler, 62, Sledge. Get great blocks, but right there, ladies and gentlemen, this man is going full speed. Everybody else looks like they're going half speed. 34, Knox explodes in there. What a call. 3rd and 12, sprint draw, first down, Nebraska.
At the Colorado 39. Knox looks for a hole, finds it, and takes it down to the 34-yard line. Knox has had some big games. He had 118 yards against Iowa State earlier this year, and he's averaging almost 7 yards a carry. Today, 5 carries and 39 yards.
The tailback position in Nebraska is the most important position. You've got to be a great all-around athlete, but you also have endurance, and you have to have depth. That's why they've got Jones out there to give him a break, and they've got Knox in there, 34.
Ryan Carpenter is the fullback. Bell is the wing to the left side. Knox at the 30, to the 27. 3 straight carries for the junior Knox.
61 McCormick and 57 Leitner will come pulling. You see those two gentlemen right there? That's what number 96 McGee sees as Knox explodes in there. That counter play is a great play for Nebraska because right now the linebackers from Colorado are keying the fullback. When the fullback goes to the right, they go to the right, and that's why those counter plays are working so well for Nebraska right now.
Knox at 46 yards, and he's running behind an offensive line that is outstanding and averages 268 pounds per man. Taylor wants to throw, and it's going to be tipped incomplete. nearly intercepted. John Narron, number 10, almost picked off that pass intended for the tight end, Tom Dandera.
But our buddy, number 59, Michael Jones, was the guy that counted. That linebacker is all over the field. He stops the play by deflecting it. Watch, a fake of that counteraction. Now watch number 59 reach his hands up right there and deflect the football. So number 10, Narron, had a chance. Jones is an outstanding player because that play was designed for him to go one way, but he was smart enough to be in the area to stop that play.
John Narron from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Bill McCartney going back home to recruit him to Colorado. Taylor. Colorado trying to pin him in, but Taylor with those quick feet, he zigs and zags and gets down inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line before McCartney finally stopped him.
That was a predetermined quarterback draw, which means that the quarterback will go back. Tom Osborne is an offensive genius. He handles his own offense. He calls his own plays. He's been doing it for so many years. Every football team that Osborne's had is going to a bowl game. Is that pretty consistent?
Not too bad. And it's off to the Fiesta to meet Florida State on January the 1st. First things first, trying to dispose of Colorado. Carpenter carries it down to the 10-yard line. And it's going to be second down. 5:30 left to play in the first half. Nebraska 7 and Colorado nothing. Another tackle from McCartney.
If Tom Osborne was worried about his team from the eyebrows up, he didn't have to worry about his offensive line of Sledge, Keeler, Young, McCormick, and Leitner. They are winning the football game right now because they are completely dominating the defensive team from Colorado.
Second down and 7. Nebraska coming up. They've got Carpenter and Knox, and the wing is Bell. Taylor is trapped and taken down at the 19 as a penalty flag. J.C. Lauterbach, our referee, assigned by the Big 8 Conference.
Holding.
And that'll back up the Cornhuskers. Tom Osborne's team now looking at second and long.
Well, second and long to Nebraska means one thing. The sprint draw again. Remember? Third down and 12, they ran that sprint draw all the way down here. So they're a tough team to stop because they have so many weapons. Second and long is holding, which puts them back. But don't be surprised if that tailback runs the ball again and makes about 8 to 10 yards.
Here's Bill McCartney. We talked about his Ann Arbor, Michigan connection. He, of course, was the defensive coordinator under Bo Schembechler, and you matched switched with him in the Big Ten.
He was an outstanding defensive coach there. He was there for 8 years, and Bo Schembechler is the man that he, I think, probably credits more for his success than any other man in football.
Second down and 17 yards to go for the Cornhuskers. Taylor wrapped up, unloads it, and it's going to be incomplete as he throws it away. The Colorado fans are screaming. There is a penalty flag back at the 31-yard line. They think it should have been intentional grounding.
And that's exactly what the official will call intentional grounding.
Tom Osborne with palms upraised on the sideline.
Now watch the offensive line. Penetration from Colorado in the middle. They get to the quarterback right there. Number 83 gets to him and makes Walker and makes the quarterback throw the ball. There's nobody in the area. And I tell you what, Tom Osborne is livid. The reason he is that he had a tight end trying to get to that area, and the defensive man did a good job of keeping him to get there.
Osborne pleading his case, but I'm afraid Lee is falling on deaf ears on the sideline.
Now watch, there's penetration in the inside by number 83 Walker. He's got Taylor by the hand, by the leg, and as he throws the ball, you'll see a tight end trying to get there, but there's nobody except the other official right there. And this Osborne's reaction is, what do you mean? I can't believe that. That's mild-mannered Tom Osborne. One of the classiest guys in any profession in this country.
J.C. Lauterbach, the referee. Now, of course, that's a loss of down.
Yeah, that's a big play.
So the penalty backs it up to the 32-yard line. It's going to be third down. And Nebraska, Lee, they've got to get down to the Colorado 4-yard line for a first down. Taylor on the draw. Knox is wrapped up and stopped. Arthur Walker, the sophomore defensive tackle, number 83.
You fool a guy once, but shame on you when you fool him twice. And that time, that was the same play that went that big yardage before. This time, Walker, number 83, holds his ground and makes a good tackle on Knox, number 34.
From the 40-yard line, this will be a 50-yard attempt for Chris Drennan. His longest is 43, you see there. He hasn't kicked a field goal in 6 games, and this one is from long range. Lee Blakeman is the holder. The kick is on its way. It's long enough. And it is good. A 50-yarder for the sophomore Chris Drennan. And Nebraska extends its lead to 10-0. Oh, what a boot by Chris Drennan.
Remember, he's the same gentleman that got roughed on that extra point. So you know he's got good concentration. He whips that left leg in there and lets it go, and he knows immediately after he hits it, it's like a putt, 24-yard putt.
With so many...
We pan around to show you the majesty of the Rockies. 10-0 Nebraska over Colorado on a career-best 50-yard field goal by left-footed Chris Drennan. And he's set to kick it away. The longest in Nebraska history, 55 yards by Paul Rogers and Billy Todd. Here is the return for Colorado, and they get it out over the 15. There's a loose football, and it's out of bounds. Colorado will maintain possession. Dave McLuhan with the return, and boy, it was a hot potato there for a moment, Lee.
Remember that to recover the fumble, you must have it before it goes out of bounds, like a forward pass. Now remember, he gets hit right there and drops the football, and now it's loose. You must take the ball and have control of it before it's your ball, and that ball gets out of bounds. Thank goodness for Colorado, because if Nebraska would have got that ball and driven it in there, it would have been all over.
10-0 Nebraska, 3:33 to play in the second quarter. Tim Brando coming up at halftime. Bring you up to date on what's transpired in college football today. First down and 10 for Colorado from their own 18. And the quarterback is taken down, Mark Hatcher. Tackled, and Neil Smith came through one more time. He's second on the club in tackles for losses. This is his 11th of the year.
This is a play you dream about. Not only does he take the fullback, watch. He knocks the fullback out of the way, reaches down, and takes the quarterback's Hatcher away. Now, let me tell you something. There is no option when one man can take the quarterback and the fullback. I guarantee you there's no option. What a great play by Neil Smith.
Neil, we'd like for you to fend off your block on the center and then take care of the quarterback and the fullback. Hatcher throwing. It's going to be tipped, and it's going to be intercepted by Nebraska at the 30-yard line. There's a penalty flag down. Mark Blazek with the return and the interception, and he gets it down to the 24-yard line. Hicks was the man who tipped the pass, and then the interception by Blazek. But there is a couple of penalty flags down the field.
I think you'll see the penalty on number 93 for clipping. What he did is he hit the man from behind as Blazek intercepted the football.
There's the clip against Nebraska. But they will, of course, hold on to the football.
All right, the ball is deflected right there.
Lorenzo Hicks.
23,
Mark
Blazek rips the ball. Now, take a look. You'll see from the right-hand side of your picture, you should see number 93, Marco, hit a man from behind, and that's the penalty. If you keep your eye on number 93 right there, you'll see him. You can't quite see it, but he blocks a man right there from behind, and that's a 15-yard penalty. Marco, number 93, coming from the right side of your picture, blocks a man from behind right there. Blazek obviously makes more yardage, but it's a 15-yard penalty from the point of the clip. So therefore, it's back here now on the 46-yard line.
Lee, you had mentioned earlier about the Colorado turnovers, and they keep creeping in here in the second quarter. They lost a fumble down at the Nebraska 29. Now the pass interception.
They lost the first two ball games because the two big games they lost, they had 11 turnovers in those two games.
Taylor on first down. All day now has to 41. Tries to break free of that ankle tackle. He gets down to the 41-yard line. Kyle Rappold, the middle guard, is the man who had him around the ankle.
This is supposed to be a screen. As you watch number 62 Sledge, he stays with number 95 Koch, blocks him down, gets up again, and makes a good play. Now, that play was a screen play. They tried to invite Koch, number 95, in. He cut him down, and then Taylor took off with athletic ability because Colorado did a good job of defending that screen.
Second down and 5. Heibel, the fullback, Jones, the I-back, and it is Jones. Cuts back and takes it down to the 37-yard line. Eric McCarty, the linebacker, with the stop for Colorado. Under 2 minutes to go in the second period, and Nebraska leading the Buffaloes 10-0. It'll be third down and not a half a yard to go. We'll call it 1. 3rd and 1 for Nebraska. Morgan Gregory, a native of Denver, goes wide to the right side for the Huskers. 2 tight ends. Pitch to Jones. Over the 35 to the 34, and another Nebraska first down. Lee, we talked at the top about Nebraska from the eyebrows up, as you put it, and I got to believe that they have come to Boulder with business at hand. They are just methodically.
What they did is they dodged the bullets. Remember, they came out with the black uniforms and all the turnovers and everything else, but then they got down to reality set in. And when reality sets in, the best team usually wins.
Bell in motion. Taylor runs around the umpire. Knocked off his feet at the 28. Steve Taylor. And that ankle, which bothered him in the first quarter, has him limping again. Let's take a look at the scoreboard. Arkansas in the 4th over New Mexico, 43-25. The battle in Arizona, 14-10. Sun Devils at the half. Arkansas State in the 1AA playoffs, beating Jackson State by 3. A&M with the win in a Florida battle over Bethune-Cookman. There's a timeout, and we'll return to Boulder after this. Look at the magnificent Rocky Mountains in Colorado. 10-0. Nebraska leading here in the second quarter. And Boulder, quite the football capital.
Absolutely. This is the national headquarters for the CFA. Chuck Nines is here. At the game today, what a beautiful area and a magnificent university and a beautiful setting.
We got here Thursday night in a snowstorm. Lee, you want to go out and scale a couple of those mountains. They don't have things like that in Florida. Here's Jones trying to get outside. He is hit. Pruitt wrapped him up around the shoulders at the 18. Under a minute to play in the first half.
Colorado's got good pursuit. That sprint draw play, they come back and they hand the ball to the tailback, and he tries to find an open spot. He comes to the left. Notice the good coaching point of carrying the ball in the right hand and then switching it to the left so that he could protect it. But good pursuit by the black jerseys from Colorado.
Well, that takes great strength because Pruitt was doing everything he could to wrestle that ball away. There's the total yardage story, and Nebraska on the beam, 204 yards. They average 495 yards per game. Stretch of the chains. It's a first down at the Colorado 23.
You think this team's good? I tell you what, the 1983 Nebraska team set an NCAA record for the most yards in one season. Tom Osmond's team. 6,560 yards. They scored 84 touchdowns, 7 per game, and they didn't win the national championship by 1 point.
Davis.
It's going to be a pass.
Bell now has to run. Nothing there, so it comes back to the other side. 20, 15, 10, down to the 6. Twice, Nebraska has reversed the field. Jones did it earlier in the first quarter. Now on a pass that was a play to Bell on the right side.
Okay, that ball was a bounce pass. Watch it. Taylor will throw the ball and bounce it out. That's a lateral. Now, Bell is going to pick the ball up and throw it, but Colorado's got good pass defense. Now, watch. He breaks away, comes back to his left, and watch number 9, Taylor, make a block right here at the bottom of your picture. Right there, he takes out Jones, and Bell goes all the way down. And everybody says, what a coach.
First down and goal from the 6 for Nebraska. Trying to score here before the end of the half. And it is Taylor trying to go in. He is denied. the goal line by inches with 14 seconds to go in the half. Taylor going for that pylon, trying to sneak in.
There's 14 seconds to go, but the important thing is they still got 2 timeouts. Watch. A boot action play. Fakes the ball to the right, comes back to his left, holds on to the ball, and tries to get it in and gets out of bounds and stops the clock. 14 seconds to go, not much time. Good point for Nebraska and bad point for Colorado. They got 2 timeouts. If they don't make it on this play, they'll call it a timeout immediately.
Heibel and Jones behind Taylor. Jones. Penalty flag. Stop at the 2. And you see the time remaining. The penalty, Nebraska players pointing Colorado's side. Against Colorado, but the penalty really doesn't do anything.
Well, it gives them half the distance of the ball, but they lined up off the ball. You notice that one gentleman, I can't tell his numbers, lined up over the ball on the left side of your picture. That's why the penalty was called right there. Usually, you have your outside linebackers look in and they'll say, hey, Jimmy, back up. You're over the ball. They didn't have that situation.
So instead of having it on the 1-yard line, they're going to have it on the 6-inch line. And 11 seconds to go in the half. Nebraska leading 10-0 and looking to improve right here. Taylor jumps in. Does he break the plane? There's no indication. The clock hits all zeros, and he didn't get in. And the half has run out. Nebraska had 11 seconds with which to work.
Quarterback sneak to the left. Good call under 1 yard to go. 59 Jones keeps him from going in there. And now what will happen is they said, now here's another 11. Watch 59. He stops him right there from going in. No touchdown. A break psychologically for the Colorado team. And Tom wants to know why that clock kept running. You know why it run? Because they were playing away from home. No, I don't mean that. But sometimes at home, that clock stops quicker when you're away from home. That's what Tom Aspen is asking about right now.
Now taking his Nebraska Huskers back to the locker room after getting the explanation from J.C. Lauterbach. They had a timeout to burn, but it appeared that everybody was waiting to see whether there would be a touchdown, and the clock ran out. We are at the half at Folsom Field in Boulder. Nebraska leading 10-0 as Tom Osborne continues to plead his case on the field.
And I know what he's complaining about. 11 seconds to go. The clock should not start until the ball is snapped.
Now the officials are going to talk about it. Here's another look.
Okay, now remember, the clock does not start until that ball is snapped. Now, right from there, 11 seconds have to go by before anything can happen. Now, this would be the most exciting play in the history of football. To run another play for 2 with the Colorado band playing. Wouldn't that be terrific?
Can you imagine having to bring both teams out of the locker room while the band is performing at halftime? Tom Osborne, he ain't going anywhere. Let's see. I believe they're going to extend the half.
This could go down in history as one of the great plays of all time. A goal line defense with a band on the field.
Now, Lee, they are resetting the clock. It now they're running it down for the 20-minute halftime. Now Osborne and the troops go back. Well, we're going to enjoy the band. It's halftime. 10-0. Nebraska will take another look at what turned out to be the last play of the half.
Here's the controversy. The ball is snapped right now. There's 11 seconds to go. If he didn't make it, they should have stopped the clock right there because the ball is stopped. That's a controversial play.
It's 10-0. Nebraska leading Colorado at halftime. Let's go back to Bristol. And in the studio, our pal Tim Branson. Tim, it's from 6 yards away.
Here's the controversial quarterback sneak and the controversy at the end of the second half. The quarterback sneak to the left. They say the ball did not across the plane. There was 11 seconds going, but what happened is, right here, he doesn't make the touchdown. Tom Osborne come out to argue here, and this is what happened. As soon as there was a penalty, the clock starts immediately as soon as the official starts the play. Now, that's what Tom thought that the clock did not start until the ball was snapped, and that's why there's a controversy on the field right now.
Things have been cleared up. Colorado's option here, they will receive. And while you were listening to the commentary of Tim Brando and Bino Cook, we replayed that play 10 times, and it looked like Taylor did not get in. The ball did not break the plane. Here comes the return for Colorado, and it's M.J. Nelson. And airball as he's tripped up and gets out to the 22-yard line. Here's a look at the halftime numbers, and as expected, Nebraska dominating, leading 10-0, and a big advantage in the total yards.
Colorado has not been able to move the football. They've got only 60 yards rushing, and if they cannot run the football, they got a problem.
And Nebraska dominating in time of possession. So Colorado now to start the second half. First down at 10. And the ball out to the 21-yard line to start this drive. 10-0, Cornhuskers lead. And senior Mark Hatcher is the Colorado quarterback. And they work out of the wishbone. The fake to Kissick. Hatcher rolls up to the 27-yard line. Here's a look at the Colorado possessions. And they had a couple of breaks early. Nebraska suffered an interception. Then there was a fumble. But Colorado could get no points. And eventually they turned the ball over, losing that 9-play drive on a fumble. A 6-yard pickup for Hatcher. Makes it second down and 4. Hatcher pressured. And it is going to be taken down at the 23. He thought Lee Corso about pitching that ball away.
Well, it's a good thing he didn't, because number 11, Tom Jack, really comes up and makes a great play. Now, the right-hand side of your picture, watch the quarterback. They're forcing him to run it, but Tom Jack comes right up there and tackles him high. The reason why he tackled him high, and an option quarterback, you can sometimes deflect the ball as it's pitched out. That's why the secondaries tackle quarterbacks high on option plays.
You can see Eric Bieniemy waiting for the pitch. Boy, Hatcher was wise as Tom Jack stuck him.
And he stuck him high so he didn't allow him to pitch the ball.
Third down and 5. They break the bone. Hatcher wants to throw, now has to run, and nothing doing. The Nebraska defense is there. Hatcher can get only back to the line of scrimmage, and a Buffalo punt is coming up. That time, number 96, Lawrence Keith, the middle guard, led the charge.
From Wichita, Kansas, number 96, the nose tackle, sits in there, plays good position over Eric Nogard, the number 61, the center, makes a good play on the quarterback, Hatcher. That was another quarterback draw. Both teams like that play on third down situations.
Barry Helton with that 47-yard punt, 8th in the NCAA in overall punting, and he moves a high one. Brinson backpedaling, takes it on the 20. 25. And a return of 10 yards out to the 30 after the punt of 51 yards by Barry Helton of Colorado.
There's a free-spirited little animal whose territory is constantly expanding.
Dailies. Look for your favorite Dailies product in your nearest grocery store. There's a Dailies treat for everyone. Bob Rathman, Lee Corso, back with you from Boulder, Colorado. The setting sun over the Rockies. And a 10-0 Nebraska lead. Bill McCartney's Buffaloes just gave up the football via a punt, and now Nebraska has it for the first time here in the second half. First down and 10. Operating from their own 30-yard line. Pitch comes to Jones, breaks a tackle, and lunges to the 35. Right now, let's check in with Tim Brando.
All right, Bob, it's been an interesting day for Melvin Bratton. He fumbled once. He got in for a touchdown once. He fumbles here, but he'd already broken the plane. The Canes up by 17. Let's go back to Bob and Lee.
Okay, thank you, Tim. 12:35 clock running, third quarter. And 10-0, Nebraska leading Colorado. Second down and 5 for the Cornhuskers. Boy, Miami, Lee, has got a rough road the last 3 games. Here's the pitch, and it goes to Jones at the 40, at the 45. Fancy footwork, and he gets out to the 50-yard line on a 15-yard run for Keith Jones.
play by Taylor. A little action comes down the line of scrimmage. You'll pitch it left-handed, which is the toughest thing to do. Jones gets it. Now watch him run over number 19 Pruitt right here. He drops his shoulder. Boom! He runs over 96, McGee, and goes forward and makes a great play. Jones and Taylor are two of the finest players in Nebraska. If they're hot, Nebraska's hot.
Keith Jones over the 100-yard plateau, and now bobbles the handoff, but controls 45 and down the sideline, cuts it back 30, 20, Jones to the 10, Jones to the 5, and he is going to be in for the touchdown. Keith Jones goes 50 yards for Nebraska.
Misdirection play. Start to the right. Give those Colorado linebackers that think he's going that. Bobbles the play. He gets a good block by 61 McCormick. From here on, ladies and gentlemen, it's athletic ability by one of the finest backs in Nebraska history. He averages over 6.8 per carry. From Omaha, Nebraska, Keith Jones.
David Tate tried to deny him, but Jones just barreled him over and went in for his first touchdown of the day. And now Chris Drennan is in to kick the PAT. Drennan with a career-best 50-yard field goal earlier. They do a good job, does Blakeman, of getting the ball on the tee, and the kick is good. 11:54 to play in the third. 17-0 Nebraska.
1987 Motor Trend Car of the Year. The world's best-selling car. American.
Keith Jones, watch it. Misdirection. Start to the right, come back to the left. Good pull by number 61 McCormick, number 57 Leitner. There's a great block by 61 McCormick, and he goes all the way into the end zone for a touchdown. That play was designed at halftime to take advantage of that linebackers flowing to the first read. Great play by Nebraska.
Jones with his 12th rushing touchdown of the season. The deep man, Dave McClellan and M.J. Nelson for Colorado, and Chris Drennan puts his left foot into it. Return by McClellan at the 10, 15, 20, over the 20, and spins to the 23.
Ground level replay. Watch 61 McCormick, 57 Leitner, the two linemen pulling. Nice body lean. Good-looking coach football team. They come down. 57 gets his block. 61 McCormick gets his block. And from then on, it's all Jones and foot race to the end zone, and he makes it. A perfect play to start the second half. This time they were not going to mess around with any officials on the goal line. Let's go all the way.
Takes away all the element of surprise. The Rocky Mountains of Colorado and Boulder. About a half a foot of snow here Thanksgiving night. Got a beautifully clear day today. We're enjoying Nebraska and Colorado. Some movement in that line, but no flags are down. Here's the pass. Intercepted. Incomplete. Incomplete at the 50. Steve Force was the man who nearly picked it off. There's a look at Keith Jones on the Nebraska bench. Coming up next, the battle in Georgia, as the Bulldogs, right at number 17, take on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech.
And Bobby Ross's first year, he's having a tough time at Georgia Tech, but he's an outstanding football coach, and he'll get that program turned around where that game will become one of the prominent games again in college football.
Jim Kelly and Kevin Kiley bringing you the action at 7:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Jim Brando in the studio. He'll be bringing you up to date on all the scores and highlights throughout the day. Make the kissing. Taken down from behind to the 28. That time, Neil Smith was there, jumping on his back, and he got some help from Adian.
It's almost unfair to have a guy like 99, 6'5", 260, catch your quarterback and outrun him from behind. Watch. There's no way in the world that that guy should be there on the blackboard. When they ran that play, he was blocked. But in the game, Neil Smith got over there. What a tremendous prospect he is.
It'll be 3rd and 5 for Colorado. Remember that name. He'll be drafted in that first round of the NFL draft next spring. Jumps this time. And they'll have some movement in that Colorado line. Here we go bragging about playing it. Jumps.
Tell you what. Now watch him. He moves right across the line right there. Now, the offensive lineman moved after the defensive lineman moved. Now it'll be up to the official's discretion on which man caused the penalty.
And going to go against Nebraska. So Smith jumps, and that certainly helps the Colorado cause. Because now it's going to be third and short, about a yard and a half. 10:56 to play in the third quarter. Nebraska leading 17-0.
Colorado's got to get something going. They got to get something established here. They could throw the ball, but it's very hard for a wishbone team to come from a deficit of 17-0 without going to the passing game, and they're not a great passing team. I think they've got to go back to their basic attack, which is run and pass, and Hatcher's got to hit a couple of big plays and come up with a big play on a passing game and get back into this game.
Hatcher is 1 for 4 for 18 yards. He's had one pass intercepted. That big one that he hit, though, was to Lance Powell. Third and short, and Colorado tries to run it ahead, and I don't know whether they made it or not, Lee. We'll see as they unpile. In the third, Miami leading Notre Dame 17-0.
There is no question, if Miami beats Notre Dame, they're going to have a tough time beating South Carolina a week from Saturday night on ESPN. South Carolina is a good football team.
Indeed, and that game will be at the Orange Bowl. But speaking of Miami's final 3 games, Notre Dame today, then South Carolina, and then Oklahoma.
If they win those 3 games, they are truly the national champion.
Well, they didn't make the first down. The officials signify that Colorado picks it up at the 34. They made it with a couple of inches to spare. Nebraska shifting. Hatcher wanting to throw. Neil Smith puts on the pressure. His knee went down, and he's down at the 23.
Now, the problem that Colorado has, when a guy like Neil Smith gets to start and to rush the passer real fast, he gets around this man so quick. He just gets in there and pulls Hatcher down. The reason why he's rushing the passer so well now is 17-0. He doesn't have to worry about the running game as much.
Pity right tackle Darren Muhlenberg, number 63 for Colorado. He's having to guard Neil Smith all afternoon. What a football play. 2nd and 23. 9:40 left to play here in the third quarter. And Kissick, the fullback, with a carry out to the 28. We talked about Colorado needing a spark, Lee, and I think back to that first quarter when they got a couple of breaks and couldn't do anything with them. May have turned the tide of this game.
Well, Coach Bill McCartney came out with the black uniforms. He came out with a great hustle, the flag, everything else. But when I said that, made that statement, when reality sets in, football teams win with the best players. And Nebraska has better football players than Colorado today. Now, what the official is doing right now, he's telling his players, look, no more mess around. There's too much pushing and shoving. He's getting control of the game right now and warning them that I don't want any disruption. That's a very, very fine play by that referee.
Our referee, J.C. Lauterbach, the football at the 29, so it's going to be 3rd down and 15 for the Bucks. 3 wide receivers. Hatcher looking. A rainbow pass, and it's going to be complete. The enemy making the grab at the 46-yard line. It's a 1st down for Colorado on a 17-yard pass play.
Terrific play from Hatch that time to the enemy. As you watch the quarterback, Hatcher goes back, he sets his feet, gets good pass protection this time. They block number 99, Smith. He throws the ball perfectly. You'll see in the top of your picture, number 8, Hicks slips down right there. He slipped down in that wet part of the field. The enemy makes the good catch. 1st down, Colorado. That could help them get some momentum. They just got to get one score to get some of their confidence back.
1st and 10, Colorado at the Buff 46-yard line. The fake to Kissick. They're going to try a reverse, and it's coming around at the 40. Loose football. Colorado recovers at the 36. M.J. Nelson on the reverse. And fortunately, Colorado is able to hang on to the football to Nebraska 35.
Terrific play that time. Watch, they'll come down with the option play, and as they get down there, they pick the ball. Number 18, Nelson, as he's coming around the right side, he gets good blocks down the field, but he gets stripped of the football right here. But as fate has it, Colorado is in the right place this time, and Colorado's got 1st down on the Nebraska 36.
Chris Symington, number 71, made the fumble recovery. First down at 10 Colorado at the Nebraska 36. Last year, it was a reverse to Jeff Campbell that opened the scoring and led the way to that Colorado upset win. Here's Hatcher looking for a hole, can't find one. That time it was the middle guard, Lawrence Pete, who wrapped him up. A yard gain to the 35.
Also, they scored last year on an option pass. They came out and run the option, and they haven't thrown it. Usually against good football teams like Nebraska and defensive coordinator Charlie McBride, you fool them one year, but you don't fool them the second year. That's why they've been playing well on those reverses and those option passes.
2nd and 9. The football resting at the Nebraska 35. The enemy in motion. Hatcher takes it, 30, 25, 20. Hatcher out of bounds at the 18. He was driven out by Leroy Etienne and Lorenzo Hicks, but a big gain for the quarterback, 17 yards.
They come up with a nice little gimmick. It's called a misdirection. They fake one way and get the Nebraska defense to follow that way. He runs right through number 23, Blazek, and Etienne knocks him out of bounds. Why that play is so successful, it's because it fakes one way and gets the Nebraska linebackers to follow in that direction, and then they come back with the option the other way. Great strategy by Colorado at this time.
It's another first down for Colorado. This is the 10th play of the drive that began at the Colorado 23. Now at the Nebraska 18. Kissick straight ahead. And some yardage. Down to the 13. Roderick Thomas with the stop. Well, you sense, Lee, that Colorado's got a little spark in that offense.
And how are they doing it? With their basic plays. They're just doing it the same play. The only difference is they're running some kind of an option play.
There is a look at the crossbar and some of the grease.
You know why?
To prevent the kind of thing that happened here last year after the Colorado.
If they win, I promise you that will not prevent it.
All it takes is a couple of guys hanging. That thing will bend over. And a long way to go for Colorado celebration. Here's Kissick, and again the fullback with some running room straight ahead down to the 7.
Bill McCartney senses a good feeling here now. Let me tell you something. They're coming at him real strong with that fullback, number 33, Kissick. Now watch him. If he drives in, that's the essence of the offensive line charge of the wishbone. Give that ball to the fullback. He breaks a tackle, and he drives himself inside the 10-yard line. Of 19 occasions, they've been on the goal line 17 times, and they've scored 15 times. The reason why is they run the option, and then the option's the toughest play on the goal line to stop.
Kissick, Lee, does a great job of keeping that forward progress after absorbing a tough first hit. And changes things up. Gives to Kissick, takes a blow, keeps going forward, down to the 2. They're on their feet in Boulder at Folsom Field.
Now you notice that play took a lot of time on the line of scrimmage. What he did that time is he came up, he counted the number of people. Nebraska had 5 people to his left and only 4 people to the right. He called the fullback and gave him the ball, and he's driving inside the 3. Remember, the reason why they score so many times out there, 15 out of 17, is because they run the fullback and the option. Those are the 2 toughest plays in football to stop on a goal line.
2nd and goal from the 3. Slipping, the enemy, and down. He lost the yard at the 4. Now it is 3rd down. 2 cracks at it to go 4 yards.
Then they went to a different play. Watch. Bill McCartney knows, oh, no, we didn't get it in. But that's all right. They got 2 downs to make 5 yards. They're not going to kick a field goal. 3 points against Nebraska is not going to catch them. They got to score here.
3rd and 5. 5:10 to play in the 3rd quarter. It is 17-0 Nebraska. Hatcher. Bacon. Wants to throw back. Wide open. Touchdown, Colorado. George Hemingway making the grab, and the Buffs are on the board.
Watch, the quarterback will start a rollout to the right. the middle, meets number 10, Fryer, for a touchdown, and Colorado's back in this ball game.
A 5-yard touchdown pass to the freshman, George Hemingway. Dave DeLine is in to kick the PAT. Colorado can close to within 10 if they're successful here. Barry Helton, the punter, is the holder, and the kick is good. 4:57 left to play in the third quarter. It's a 10-point Nebraska lead.
After 21 years, Big Fred's at 119th and Pacific has a new look outside, kind of a facelift. But inside, it's still the same warm, friendly atmosphere it's always been. Home of the Midwest's best pizza, pasta, and more. Also new, salad fans, my salad dressing is now available at your favorite supermarket for your convenient home use. Try it. Well, that's the news from Big Fred's, 119th and Pacific. Over 21 years of great food at the same location. You know, maybe I should have had the facelift.
Bellevue Nissan is number 2 in the whole state of Nebraska. Yes, Bellevue Nissan is the state's second largest Nissan dealer. And when you're number 2, you try harder. We want to be number 1, and we'll get there. Because of our low overhead. We're a small-town dealer with a personal touch. Because of our large NFL Pro line.
Wear what the pros wear.
It's all in the NFL Pro Line catalog. For your copy, send $1 to NFL Pro Line.
From Colton, California, George Hemingway. He's caught 4 passes this season. The last one goes for a 5-yard touchdown reception. And Colorado back in business. It's 17-7 Nebraska with 4:57 to play here in the third quarter. Colorado set to kick it off. And Ken Culbertson with the honors. And for Nebraska at the 10, it is Richard Bell. 15. And he is smacked down a loose ball. And they're going to call the man down. So Nebraska possession at the 19. And Richard Bell took a serious hit. Let's go back and take a look at the touchdown.
Hatcher will roll out to his right. He makes a nice little fake. He's got everybody thinking to the right. He fakes number 10, Fryer, out of his position. Number 22, George Hemingway, scores. And a little bit of a spike there. And watch Bill McCarthy saying, he's open. He's open. All right. Had him all the way. Going for 1.
Now here is the kickoff return. Richard Bell, the sophomore. Boy, does he take a hit.
Boy, he gets shot. Woo, right there in the head. But remember, the ball was already down, and Nebraska gets the football. That was just an indication that the Colorado team is back in this one. They think they can win now.
David Tate was the man who applied the hit. Now Nebraska, 1st and 10. Jones. The hole closes quickly, but Jones with a fine speed and able to carry a couple of defenders, gets it out to the 23. Elsewhere, it is Miami still leading Notre Dame 17-0 in the fourth quarter. Well, now there's a battle. Arizona and Arizona State at 21-21 in the fourth quarter. 1AA playoffs. Weber State on their way to advancing to the quarterfinals. Northeastern Louisiana winning over North Texas State. Hemingway, they have a leg cramp. They're working on him on the sideline. Manager caught the touchdown. Here's the handoff, and Jones snipes through to the 27, shy of a first down. Michael Jones with the tackle. Jones, Lee, has just been in around the ball all afternoon.
One of the things about Michael Jones is that I like the most, he's making plays both at him and away from him, which means he'll step up and fill the hole, or he's got good enough speed to pursue. This is a big play because psychologically, if Colorado can stop them now, they get the crowd back in the ball game.
Single setback is Heibel. 2 wings. Taylor wants a timeout. Timeout, Nebraska. 3:30 to play, and a 3rd down situation when we come back. Nebraska and Lee Corso with you in Boulder. 17-7 Nebraska in the third quarter. 3:30 remaining. And don't forget, coming up immediately following our game, Jim Kelly and Kevin Kiley will bring you the Georgia Tech game on ESPN. It's 3rd and 2 for Nebraska. Well in motion. Pitch to Jones. He is going to get the first down. Over the 35. it looked for an instantly that they had it, but Jones broke away.
He ran right through number 32, Eric McCartney. Now, he's an all Big 8 linebacker. Now, watch him drop his left shoulder right here and explode right through number 32 and makes that first down. And keep driving by Nairn. What a great football play and a tremendous performance. But you know what? 3rd down and 2, you give it to your best player with your best play, and that's the toss play.
Jones, 171 yards. And he's got it again. At the 40, not to the 41-yard line. Keith Jones on the draw, picks up 6 more yards.
Well, at 17-7, Tom Osborne went back to his offensive line. Good pass protection look. Number 65, Keeler, gives a good block. Right there on number 59, Jones. And out comes Jones, Keith Jones, number 6, the I-back from Omaha, Nebraska.
Second down, and some pressure, and that time, Jones is hit and dropped at the 40. He lost a yard. Boy, that time, some quick pursuit as Pruitt got in there.
What happened is they brought the strong safety, Mickey Pruitt, 6'1", 205, number 19. He's a 3-time All-Big 8 selection. They came from the short side and had a short side blitz. And they caught the man before he had a chance to get started. 3rd down, 5, big play for the Colorado defense.
Nebraska is 6 for 9 in 3rd downs today. Taylor bobbled the snap, runs, and he is stopped short at the 44. So Colorado is going to get it back here via a Nebraska punt.
Taylor, number 9, runs a quarterback draw, which means he'll drop back like he wants to run, pass it. Then he reads the nose tackle block. Number 91 will post and doesn't quite make it. Now a big play comes up. If they can return the ball halfway decent in good field position, they can go into the 4th quarter at the most momentum they've ever had.
John Croker will punt to Jeff Campbell. And Campbell with great speed. Here's the punt. Campbell is going to make a fair catch and is out of bounds. They'll mark it out at the 17. So no chance for a return. A good job by John Croker to kick it away from Jeff Campbell. 39-yard punt. Coming up next, it's going to be the number 17 Georgia Bulldogs of Vince Doolin. Taking on the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. 7:30 is kickoff time on ESPN. And later tonight at 11, it's going to be the Huskies of Northern Illinois against the Rebels of UNLV.
Jerry Pettiford of Northern Illinois has finally got some of his players in there. They're playing a lot better. That ought to be an offensive thriller. Northern Illinois has a small quarterback named Marshall Taylor that can fly. He's about 5'6". Dynamite player to watch.
First down at 10 for Colorado. They trail Nebraska 17-7. A mix up in the backfield. Hatcher now is going to throw it. He nearly had it intercepted. It is incomplete, and almost picking it off was junior Lorenzo Hicks. Lee, I thought that was a busted play, and then to see the quarterback throw it was really surprising.
It was a busted play. The fullback went in the wrong direction. He was supposed to go to the quarterback's left. He went to his right. He got right in his play. In his face, it was almost like he knocked the ball down. But luckily, Hatcher threw the ball high enough so Hicks, number 8, did not intercept that football.
Second down at 10. Hatcher now 3 for 7 for 40 yards. He has a touchdown pass done in the last drive. He also has had a pass intercepted. Hatcher over the 25, out to the 27. Now, Lee, it's going to set up a 3rd down and maybe a yard. Let's see where they mark there's perhaps a fumble. It's been given no indication that it's Nebraska ball. You see Tom Jack motioning that it's Nebraska's ball, but it is going to belong to Colorado.
All right, nice option from your left. He's going down. He gets caught from behind. As he gets caught from behind, he gets stripped of the ball right there, but the turf called. The ground can't cause a fumble, and thank goodness for the Colorado's point that it wasn't a fumble. But one thing you liked about that play, instead of throwing the ball, they went back to what they could do the best, which is the option play, and they made it work.
Well, where they marked the ball was all important, and you see how much they've got to go for 3rd down here. Coach, what do you think the play call is going to be for the Colorado bench?
It should be either a quarterback sneak, or they'll probably try to run a big play and run the option. But right now, if I was the coach in the sideline from Colorado, I'd be satisfied to make that 1st down with a quarterback sneak.
3rd and a yard. Of course, you couldn't go wrong with Kissing, the fullback, the way he is able to get those tough yards.
The problem is you take the ball back to hand it to him, it's too much penetration.
Nebraska, it appears, holding on third down. But let's see what the penalty's all about.
The left end jumped because he wanted to get a good movement. The left end on Colorado was offside.
Take another look here.
On the left-hand side of your picture, you'll see the left-end number 41, Troy Wolf. He moved just before the ball was snapped, and that negates the first down. It's now third down and about 5.5.
What does this do to the play call?
Well, the first thing you do is you don't run a quarterback sneak anymore. Now, wait a minute. They might have
declined the penalty.
No.
No, they couldn't. Penalty before the snap, they don't have the choice, do they, Lee?
They wouldn't take the snap in because they made the first down. All right, now, what they'll probably do now is run the option play because basically that's their best play.
Football back to the 22-yard line. 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. 17-7, Nebraska. Getting set defensively. ATN going a hole. Here's the fake. Here's the pitch. It's a loose ball. Colorado recovers. Back at the 11. The enemy could not handle that toss.
The enemy slipped. That was a perfect play. That play would have been gone for a big play. It was an option play. He fakes it to the left like we called. He comes out and he pitches. But the enemy had slipped down, and that's why he wasn't in the right position. It's such a timing play that by him slipping down, he wasn't in the perfect position as Hatcher targeted. Boy, that's a big play for Colorado.
Barry Helton is the puncher. He has moved a 52-yarder today. That's the end of the third quarter of play. With the score, Nebraska 17, Colorado 7. We'll return to Boulder after this.
Bellevue Nissan is number 2 in the whole state of Nebraska. Yes, Bellevue Nissan is the state's second largest Nissan dealer. And when you're number 2, you try harder. We want to be number 1, and we'll get there. Because of our low overhead, we're a small-town dealer with a personal touch. Because of our large inventory, there are always 200 units in stock or on the way. We give high trade allowances for your car, and there's no down payment with qualified credit. So before you buy your next new or used car, come see Nebraska's second largest Nissan dealer, Bellevue Nissan, Highway 75 in Bellevue.
AT&T Long Distance, thank you to the people who put our equipment to the test.
I love wrecking things. This is a special laboratory. Here we create disasters. One disaster right after another. Why do we do all this? Once we understand how these things can destroy long-distance service, we can build equipment that'll stand up to it.
We're reaching further to bring your world closer.
Yeah, the storm's over.
AT&T, the right choice.
At UPS, we wash our...
Going to be very careful here because this is when Nebraska returns them best, when they got a block first and not cover.
A lot of hang time. It is going to be Brinson on the return, trying to escape. Colorado's got him penned in, and he's taken down at the 35. He lost about 8 yards on the return, 7 to be exact. That's a 52-yard net punt for the Colorado Buffaloes. Well, don't forget tomorrow night NFL coverage on ESPN, the Cleveland Browns and the San Francisco 49ers. And our guest commentator will be none other than the great Jim Brown. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, live tomorrow night here on ESPN.
That ought to be exciting with Jimmy Brown.
Oh, yes. So Nebraska starting the fourth quarter with the football and a 10-point cushion. Taylor is going to hand off, and he's going to give it to his fullback, Brian Carpenter, and the Colorado defense gang tackles. Alfred Williams leading the way.
Yeah. This indicates that the Colorado defense is really playing tough to the inside. It's a famous inside trap play. You'll watch the left guard, number 65, Keeler pull, but the entire line squeezes it to the inside, and number 94, Williams, makes a good play. That's a famous play by Nebraska. They like to trap, but Colorado played it beautifully.
Nebraska with 2 wideouts. Bell is one of them in the wide slot. Taylor wanting to
23. David Tate, number 23 from Denver, Colorado, was in perfect position. They tried a little bootleg action. Taylor throws it off the wrong foot, but still gives enough iron power to throw it right near the receiver. But watch number 23, David Tate, get up there and deflect the ball. Nice defensive play by Tate.
Also some help from Rodney Rogers. Tate, the senior cornerback from Denver. It is third down for Nebraska at 9 yards to go. 14 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter and conference time on the field. They may be having some problems. Now, the official's timeout. I think they're having some problems with the 25-second clock.
If that does happen and the 25-second clock does go down, the officials will keep it on the field.
Here's a look, and Nebraska is right on that 17-point mark right now. 17 or less since 82. They've lost 7 out of 10. If they can get one more point, they dominate.
I would say so. 56-1 is a pretty good statistic.
It's 17-7 right now, Nebraska leading.
Speaking of statistics, Tom Osborne in 15 years of Big 8 coaching has only lost 19 games, 12 of them to Oklahoma.
The 25-second clock seems to be working properly now, and Taylor is going back to pass. He's rolling. Throw back to the left, and Jones incomplete. Incomplete pass to 33, and Colorado's going to get another crack at it here. Well, the momentum was taking Taylor away from the play. Didn't have enough muscle on it to get it out to Jones.
It was a backside screen. They roll out to the right, Taylor did. And he threw the ball back to Jones, hoping that the Colorado team would stay and run with it. But Colorado's well coached. Third down, everybody in the ballpark knows you're going to screen. That's why that play didn't work.
John Croker had a career-best 46-yard average last week against Oklahoma. And he's ready to kick it deep to number 84, Jeff Campbell. Outside pressure from Colorado, but they get the punt off. Campbell to 22. Gets a cut back, and he's going at the 40. A tackle from behind at the 48-yard line. What a return by Jeff Campbell. We mentioned his speed, and you saw it right there. A car that you can believe in. And by Metropolitan Life, an affiliated company. Get that, it pays. A big return for Colorado here.
Number 84 gets the ball, starts to the outside, and he breaks right up the middle. He's got enough speed to get through the Nebraska defense and makes a great play. What it does for Colorado, it gives them good field position so they can use all of their offense and move the ball down and try to score again.
17-7 Nebraska. Roderick Thomas is out of the game for the Huskers at that defensive end spot. First down and 10. Flanagan moving to the quarterback, and Kissick, the fullback, has it at the 49-yard line of Nebraska. Let's check in with Tim Brando in the studio. Tim?
Miami is absolutely loaded with talent, gentlemen. Leonard Conley is just a freshman. 6 yards. Look at the effort here. And the blowout continues. 24-0 Canes. One hurdle is cleared. One remains. And that's next week against South Carolina on ESPN.
Thank you, Tim. 17-7 here. Colorado's trailing, and they've got the ball to Nebraska 49. John Marco into the game at that defensive end spot for the Huskers. The fake to Kissick. Here comes the toss, and it's the enemy. And he keeps churning and gets to the 45. Eric Bieniemy is a freshman from West Covina, California.
Nice option play. They come down with a triple option. Quarterback pitches the ball at the enemy, and up comes number 10, Fryer, from the defensive secondary position, and makes a good tackle to stop him right there. It's third down and 2. What they've got to do here is make sure they get some kind of a play that goes right at Nebraska, and they don't lose yardage. That's very important in this play.
12-10 remaining. Roderick Thomas back in the ball game for Nebraska. To Kissick, and he's got the first down at the 40-yard line. Boy, I like the way this kid carries the football inside, Lee.
Okay, that was my point. The play was a fullback right after. There was no chance that the offensive line couldn't at least get a yard or two. Now watch him explode off the ball. Number 61 Norgard gets a good block, but the reason why that play was so good is there was no chance for him to lose any yardage, and he just drives himself up there and gets the first down. Excellent call from the sideline from Colorado.
And Kissick, a sophomore. 2 more good years for the Buffs at that fullback spot. Flanagan, 35, knocked out of bounds, off his feet. They'll knock him out, they say now, at the 31-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup on the option play. Colorado in the second half, they've moved the ball.
I'll tell you exactly why. They're running misdirection options. In other words, they're faking the fullback to the right, and they're running the option to the left, where most of the time they continue to run it to the right. And they've got the Nebraska team freezing, and they don't know exactly which way to go, and they're making the corner. And that's why this play is working so good. They've gone to the counter option instead of the regular option in the second half.
11:40 to play in the game. 2nd and 1 for the Buffs. They trail 17-7. Passer pulls away, looking to throw. The pass is deflected, and it has been intercepted by Nebraska. No, now they say incomplete. An incomplete pass, and it looked like number 38 for Nebraska had picked it off, Steve Force. But no, it's an incomplete pass, and what a break for Colorado.
I'll tell you, the guy in this whole stadium that's breathing better is Bill McCartney. The 2nd down and 1, he took a big chance, and he doesn't get it. Watch the play here, deflected by Etienne. He's all over the field. Force, number 38, doesn't quite get it. Excellent call by the official. He's in perfect position to call that play. But let me tell you something. He'll give the ball to the fullback this time over the right guard.
3rd down and 1. Kissick, right guard. Nope, it's going to be an option. Out to the outside, and they stack it up. Flanagan couldn't get it, and it's 4th down. And I was with you, Lee. Kissick, it looked was going to be the man.
The reason why that play was a big chance is it had a chance to lose yardage, right? Right now it's perfectly played. We'll pitch out and move up comes 6. If they give him the ball to the fullback, boom, he'd have made a 1st down and they'd still have the ball. You don't get fancy in that situation, especially against a great team like Nebraska.
Now, Nebraska, Colorado is going to try a field goal here, and it's going to be a 51-yarder. The kick. It's long enough. It is going to be no good. Making the kick attempt was Culbertson, and he was long enough but wide and no good, and a timeout on the field.
Florida, number 11. You know, Jimmy Johnson is so impressed with his Craig Erickson, as well as Steve Walsh has played this year. He may open up the positions of the competition in spring practice. Really likes the way Erickson can play. Erickson's father, by the way, played for our own Era Parsigan at Northwestern. There was a backup quarterback there.
Razor at Drop.
Manny Stubbs, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Certainly hope you and yours enjoyed it and all the great football that's come.
Back in Boulder, and the Husker fans that have made it into Boulder today, pretty happy bunch, 17-7, with 10:49 to play in the 4th quarter. Nebraska's got it back, and here's Jones over the 35-40, 45-50. Jones pulled down from behind at the Colorado 45. Oh, what a day he's had. Heath Jones, outstanding.
Playing like an All-American. American, but you got to give a lot of credit to that offensive line. Number 57, Leitner, just smashes. Number 83, Walker, and there goes Jones up the field, and only number 59, who was all over the field, Michael Jones, makes the tackle. When in doubt, you go to the best play and the best player, and there's one of the best in the country today.
And it is Jones again. And this time, the other Jones, Michael Jones for Colorado, jumped on his back at the 44. We can't say enough about this sophomore, Michael Jones. He has played a whale of a game. He's from San Diego. He has started all year as a sophomore. Number 2 on the team in tackles. You see, he's averaging 11 a game. He's well over that today.
One of the reasons why he's having a good game is number 33, number 32, Eric McCartney's on the other side. All Big 8, and they're running away from him at Jones.
2nd down and 8 for Nebraska. And here is Jones. 40, 35, going down the sideline, 20, 10. Jones, touchdown, Nebraska. A 44-yard touchdown run.
Watch number 61, John McCormick. Watch number 29, Carpenter. Carpenter gets a great block. McCormick gets a great block. And all the way, all world today, Keith Jones. All uniforms. What a player today. And you see how big not making that first down was back there. What happens is you give Nebraska the ball and they can score anytime, and now they're out of the ball game 22-7 because they don't have the kind of offense that can come from behind.
Chris Drunnen in the kick. A 50-yard touchdown run for Jones. That one was for 44 yards. And Drunnen to add the PAT. 9:34 remaining in the game. And the kick by Drunnen. He drills it good. 9:34 to play. 24-7 now, Nebraska.
Again, keep your eye on number 61, John McCormick, number 29, Carpenter. They get the blocks right there, but from there on, it's God-given speed. From Omaha, Nebraska, Keith Jones goes all the way for a touchdown. The play was made possible by Carpenter and McCormick.
There's a town...
Third on the all-time Nebraska career rushing yard list. Mike Rozier, the all-time leader, with 4,780. I.M. Hipp, who played from 77 to 79, over 2,800 yards. And now in his great career, Keith Jones has 2,483 yards after his 243-yard effort today.
What Coach McCartney is complaining about, there was a 15-yard penalty after the touchdown. And that play is put on after the field, after extra point. So now they're kicking off from the 50. And if Brennan gets the foot into it, he's going to kick it in the Golden, Colorado, which is about 20 miles over the end zone. Watch this now. Keep your eye on Jones, number 6, but also now 61, McCormick. Perfect position. That's why he's an All-American guard. He breaks the tackle. He's going down the sideline. He's going to make it all the way. He's not quite out of bounds. He can't quite get it in, but now he does all the way. And somebody causes a penalty after that play by pushing him into the snow. Now, that will not happen in the Fiesta Bowl.
I should hope not.
Guaranteed.
9:34 to play, and Nebraska getting that big touchdown. I think you're right, Lee. I think we'll look back on that third down play that Colorado had moments ago. Completely turned this around. The crowd was into it. You could feel Colorado with the momentum.
Absolutely.
Here's the kickoff, and it's going to sail out of the end zone.
Not quite golden.
Halfway to goal, okay? 9:34 to play in the game. Take a look at the scores elsewhere. And that Miami game is now a final as the Canes defeat Notre Dame 24-0. We'd like to welcome those of you who are watching that game to our game here in Boulder, Colorado.
The people who watch that game, watch South Carolina play Miami. South Carolina's got a better chance of beating Miami than Notre Dame did because they've got more speed. And you can run with Miami. You've got a chance to beat them as you look at the rest of the score.
That could be the 2 fastest teams in the country in that game. Throw Oklahoma in there, too, but that's a lot of speed on that team.
Absolutely.
First and 10. Hatchet has to go to the air, and it's going to be incomplete over the middle. The intended receiver was Flanagan. Check it. It was Hemingway. Force was defending.
One of the problems with the wishbone offense, it's one of the best running offenses ever devised. And we saw in the top 4 teams in America rushing the football, 3 of them use the wishbone. But if you get behind 24-7, the people start leaving because you don't have the kind of attack and you don't recruit the kind of athletes that can come from behind because you don't have the attack or the athlete that can throw and catch the football.
3 wideouts and a wing for Colorado. Now, dropping the football is the fullback Kissick. Let's see if Colorado was able to fall on it here. And Colorado's got the ball. It's going to be 3rd down.
Let me tell you a story about Colorado and Nebraska that happened to me. When I was a coach at Indiana, we played Nebraska and did a good job, and they only beat me by 17 points. We scared them. The next year, they practiced against my plays. They beat me by 62 at the buzzer. I'm telling you. The biggest mistake you got is making these guys, Nebraska, mad.
3rd down and 7. And it's deployed. Lance Powell stretching out to make the grab. It's a 1st down for Colorado at the 44. The senior from Fort Madison, Iowa, making a nice grab over the middle.
What a terrific pass by Hatcher that time. He dropped back to his left, and he sets his feet. Now watch as he turns his shoulders. That's really good coaching. He throws a shot, but watch Carl leap out there and catch the football, and that's the most difficult thing to ask a receiver to do, is to catch the ball across the middle off your feet. Some guys will give up their scholarship before they'll do that.
Throw, but he sees nothing but white shirts, and he's sacked back at the 34-yard line. Neil Smith once again in on the tackle. 6.5 sacks coming into the game, and he got some help from number 93, John Marco, the junior.
And number 89, Thomas. One of the things that Colorado told me they were going to do at the yesterday is to run away from Thomas and Smith like Oklahoma did. But what happens is you get behind 24-7, you just try to run anywhere. You forget the strategy.
Yeah, the game plan goes out the window.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 19 now for the Bucks. Under 8 minutes to go in the game. Coming up, Tim Brando in the studio will update you on scores and highlights, and then at 7:30, Georgia and Georgia Tech. Here's the counter, and Hatcher will keep it to the 38-yard line. That only got him about 3 yards before Mike Murray, the backup nose guard, the sophomore from Chicago, with the tackle. A loose ball, and everybody diving for it there, but it is going to belong to Colorado.
And what Nebraska will do now on all the option plays, they'll take somebody out and take the pitch out so they don't give up the big play. They'll let Hatcher run it inside, and they'll punish him until he drops it.
An injured player on the field. The Colorado training staff coming out to attend. And there's a timeout. 7:35 to go in the game. It's Nebraska 24-7 over Colorado. By Cassia, where miracles never cease. And by Mitsubishi Televisions. This program would look better on a Mitsubishi. A magnificent western sunset. And Folsom Field in Boulder, Colorado. 24-7, Nebraska leading with 7:30 left to play. The injured player for Colorado was Mark Hatcher, so senior Rick Wheeler comes in to operate at quarterback for Colorado, and he inherits a 3rd down and 15 situation. Wheeler, old arm and all, looking to throw, and it's going to be short and incomplete at the 50-yard line. Drew Ferrando was the intended receiver. So Colorado must punt it away to Nebraska. There's Wheeler's stance. He's a senior from Englewood, Colorado. Low snap, controls.
Blocky team.
25. 27 and wrapped up. Dana Brunson, and a penalty flag is down. Tate got down the field. Face mask penalty coming up. We'll take another look here. There's Tate who made the tackle.
The left of your screen, you're going to see the face mask. Remember, if it's done on purpose, it's 15. If it's inadvertent, it's only 5. You make the choice.
Officials are going to mark off 5 yards for the inadvertent face mask.
Look at that. You talk about something, you're looking at 2 legends right there. Between those 2 men, they won over 80% of the game. But the interesting statistic on this, over a period of 25 years, they have averaged, over a period of 26 years, they've averaged over 9.5 per year. That's never been done in the history of college football. Devaney and Osborne, 2 of the greatest coaches that ever coached this game.
For the consistency and the excellence of Tom Osborne's program has truly been remarkable. Tyrese Knox, and another penalty flag as Knox gets over the 35 to the 37. Well, you talk about the legacy of the Nebraska football program, and Osborne has done it with a style and grace that really hasn't been matched. Here's the penalty, holding against Nebraska. Don't forget, coming up next is going to be the Georgia Bulldogs against the Yellow Jackets of Georgia Tech. 7:30 Eastern Time here on ESPN. Jim Kelly, Kevin Kiley standing by. Grant Field down in Atlanta, GA.
Tell you what, Osborne, if you had to give 2 words that you probably describe Tom Osborne best, one is consistent. He does the same thing over and over again because it's the right thing. And 2 is in integrity. The man is impeccable in his honesty and integrity. And he probably exemplifies what all the young coaches that are watching this program should someday try to be like that guy right there.
Nebraska will be going to its 19th straight bowl game.
Does that say enough?
That says it all right there. That's the longest streak in the country. Running room, 35-40. Tyrese Knox, the junior, spelling the record-setting Keith Jones.
From the end zone, watch number 62, the big tackle sledge pull right there. Transfer from South Dakota. Boom, he buries number 19 Pruitt, and there goes Knox. And that's what's happening when you get to play Nebraska away from home. You're in big trouble because they only bring 50 guys, and they're all good. You play them at Lincoln, they got 100, and they can bring in number 99 and number 98.
Knox a little shaken up, so he comes out of the game, and Jones is back into the I-back spot. And second down on a yard for the Huskers. And the toss goes to Jones. Gets outside and has the first down at the 45-yard line.
Good play that time by Rodney Rogers. We haven't talked about him. He's a transfer from the University of Houston, but he came up that time and made a nice tackle to keep Jones from going for another 45 or 50-yard touchdown run.
Out to the 45, a first down at 10. It's going to be Nebraska and Florida State in that Fiesta Bowl. FSU with the win today over Florida. Taylor tries to stiff arm but can't get away. And brought down at the 40 by Alfred Williams, the freshman. Well, wait till this kid grows up, Lee. He's 6'6", 225 as a freshman.
They got freshman bookends. Both ends, 6'6", 230 Williams, 6'5", 230 McGee, both legitimate freshmen. Bill McCartney thinks they could be the 2 best defensive ends, young people in this country. The Houston Texas players. Talk about that Fiesta Bowl. Florida State and Nebraska will be a dynamite football game.
Oh, indeed. To call a timeout. Couldn't get the offensive set the way he liked it, so it takes a timeout. 5:07 to play in the game. It's all Nebraska. Thank you, Tim. Boy, what a finish in that game. 4:45 to play, 24-7, trying to stay warm on that Nebraska sideline. The sun's going down here now, and it's really getting cool.
Keith Jones kept that Nebraska sideline warm by running past them.
Didn't he? Woo. Jones has 247 yards in this game, and that is a career high. 3rd down and 12.
and he's dropped back at the 35-yard line. All right, Colorado put all the pressure on him that time, and McGee led the way.
That's that other bookend, 6'5", 230, a business major from Houston, Texas. Number 96 will come from the right side of your picture right there and destroys Taylor, number 9. I wouldn't be surprised the next series to see number 12, Brakeman, come in as the Nebraska quarterback so they can rush and rest Taylor for that game against Florida State.
Well, Lee, you were talking about the bowl. Can you imagine if South Carolina should spring the upset on Miami on ESPN next Saturday night? Boy, that would make things really crazy on January 1. That would open the door for Nebraska. There's a lot of possibilities. Florida State right in there.
How about Syracuse?
Syracuse unbeaten going to the Sugar Bowl. And the punt. Take it down at the 22. Well, Keith Jones, it should come as no surprise with his 247 yards rushing, is the Volvo player of the game. Keith Jones had 247 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. That's a career best for Jones and the 5th best in Nebraska history. And for Colorado, a whale of a job for linebacker Michael Jones. We don't have the official statistics yet, but he has to be around 15, 16 tackles. Volvo will donate $1,000 to the General Scholarship Fund of each school in each player's name. 24-7, Nebraska over Colorado. 3:24 left of the game. And Colorado trying to make it happen. Wheeler with a long throw, and it's complete out to the 40-yard line. And making the grab is going to be number 84, Jeff Campbell. Campbell gets it out to the 40. The Buffaloes trying to hurry it along here. 3:16, the time remaining. They move the sticks. It's a first down. Wheeler, 4 for 10 coming into the game passing. There's a pass batted down at the line and nearly intercepted. As for Nebraska, number 80, Jeff Jamrog, almost picked it off after it was deflected at the line of scrimmage. There's a look at Jamrog, who is a senior from Omaha. Well, the Colorado Buffaloes will finish their season, it appears, 7-4.
They had a great chance to win this ball game, but they didn't make that first down with 3rd down and 2 or 2nd and 2, and that took them right out of the ball game.
Flanagan in motion. Here's Wheeler, and he runs it out here, a first down at the 49-yard line. Under 3 minutes remaining. Don't forget Georgia Tech coming up next on ESPN. Tim Brando in between. We'll bring you up to date on the scores and the highlights. The difference in this second half has been the running of Keith Jones. A 50-yard touchdown run and a 44-yard touchdown run. Breaking open this game, it was 10-0 Nebraska at the half. And the handoff comes straight ahead to Michael Simmons. And the fullback gains a yard. And he gets the nose of the ball over the 50, and that may be enough for the first down. We'll see. And they indicate 1st and 10, Colorado. Under pressure, gets away. Now he's hit and dropped at the line of scrimmage. Number 99, Neil Smith. He's gone all the way, and take a look at what a difference a year makes.
Well, sometimes it's better when you beat a team to speak very softly and don't make any, rash statements. See, what happened is they put a big sign up there that says "Beat Nebraska" on their dressing room. Well, Nebraska reads that stuff, and they, I tell you what, you don't want to make Nebraska mad. You want to just get into the game, try to beat them, and slip out of town and say thank you very much. There's the sign. They put that up in the Colorado Stadium. Now, the reason they did that is Bill McCartney has based his program on being able to be as good as they are and beating them. He's already done it once, which is not bad.
Flanagan in motion, man. Wheeler can't pitch. A penalty flag is down at the 50-yard line. Now look at the Colorado bench, and I I think Bill McCartney has done a great job. It isn't easy when you got to butt heads with Nebraska and Oklahoma, two of the greatest programs in the country in your own conference. And, of course, Oklahoma State's right in there, too.
And one of the things he does best, he has 25 seniors on this football team. And, ladies and gentlemen, of all of those 25 seniors, every single one of them will get a degree this year. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that, to me, is what the essence of college football is about, right there. A degree of class. All 25 Colorado seniors will graduate this calendar year. And let me tell you something, that is a great record.
One of the most impressive statistics we've showed you all day. Wheeler throwing. Intercepted. Nebraska. Jamrog making the pickoff. Jeff, the right end, with his first interception of the year. And that puts an exclamation point on this Nebraska victory.
Wheeler gets knocked down. Watch number 7 as he rolls out to his left. He sets up his feet to throw the ball, but he gets crushed right here from behind. And then Jamrod dives and makes a great interception right there for a 6'1", 220 senior. Jamrod did a terrific job. But the quarterback gets hit late. Now, that could have been a call of roughing the passer, but probably the official said he didn't mean it, so that's why he didn't call it.
Nebraska with it. And some running room here for John Kelly, the I-back, a senior from Lincoln. And he runs the football out to the 45, and that's going to be another Nebraska first down. So the Cornhuskers will go to the Fiesta Bowl to face Florida State at 10-1. They finished their Big 8 play with a 6-1 ledger. Well, you have to go back to 1976 to find the last time Nebraska lost games in the regular season back-to-back. Very businesslike. They dodged a couple of bullets early. When the Colorado had a couple of breaks, the Buffs didn't cash in, and Nebraska's methodically rolled up the rushing yardage, and they're going to win this game. Now, they stopped the clock with 59 seconds to go as Cleve Blakeman, the quarterback for Nebraska, is in there at the controls.
Big 8 commissioner Carl James has done a wonderful job. He's in the 8th year. He was the former athletic director at Duke, former athletic director at Maryland, and worked with the Sugar Bowl. He does a great job here for the Big 8.
Allen on the field will return after this.
The color and excitement of college basketball's best stands out on ESPN. See more than 150 live NCAA basketball clashes, including more than a dozen conference championships and NCAA tournament action. The college basketball season tips off with a weekend of 2 special tournaments, the Great Alaska Shootout and the Maui Classic. NCAA basketball stands out November 27th through the 30th, live on ESPN.
The scoreboard story in Boulder. 59 seconds left and a 24-7 lead for the visitors from Lincoln. Lost here last year, but a win in 87.
They think they answered the question Tom Osborne had. Would they bounce back from that devastating loss from Oklahoma? They obviously did.
Handoff comes squared ahead, and in the game at fullback for Nebraska, Sam Schmidt. He's a sophomore from Wood River, Nebraska. So the second and third teamers getting some action here in the final minute of the game.
Bill McCartney right there is extremely active in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. He was named recently the Fellowship Christian Athlete Man of the Year in Colorado. Another fine man that really does a great job of representing all the coaches in America and all of us former coaches.
24-7, Nebraska. Georgia Tech coming up next. Will be no doubt the final snap of the game. And the quarterback, Blakeman, goes to one knee. You got to tip your cap to Nebraska.
The best football team won today, no question.
Very businesslike. They got a great day from Keith Jones. 248 yards, a personal best, 2 touchdowns, and Tom Osborne's team goes back to Lincoln a victor. Tom Osborne and Bill McCartney meet at midfield. as Nebraska wins it 24-7, the final score. Second half touchdown runs by Jones, a 50-yarder and a 44-yarder. And Nebraska ends its regular season with a 10-1 mark, and they'll match that 10-1 record against Florida State in the Fiesta Bowl on New Year's Day. That's the story from Boulder, Colorado. For Lee Corso, this is Bob Rathman. The final, Nebraska 24, Colorado 7. Let's go to Jim Kelly and Kevin Kiley in Atlanta.